pressure from the Ottawa front seven. Last year, Ottawa led the league with 61 quarterback sacks. In 2 preseason games already, they have 13. There is no secret to what they will do on defense. They will come after David Archer with a variation of blitz packages. If the offensive line of Sacramento cannot handle it, it's going to be a long night for them. That should be the difference in this opening ball game tonight.
The Sacramento offensive line averages 6'3" and 292. Now the kickoff. The first U.S. franchise in the CFL plays its first game for real. This is Walker on the return for the Ottawa Rough Riders. He has room to the near side and out to the 31 before he stopped. Ottawa quarterback Tom Burgess. And the starting lineup presented tonight by Speedy Auto Glass. Don't take a chance. Take your auto glass repairs and replacement to Speedy Auto Glass. Sean Daniels and Darren Joseph are the runners for Burgess tonight. And outside, it's Walker and Jones with Climby and Brown as the inside receivers. There's the O-line.
Yeah, Mike Graybill, the starting left tackle. He's an import, and because they are playing him, that means Reggie Barnes, the great running back, is not in the lineup.
Burgess has a slight opening and grabs a couple of yards. Defensively for Sacramento, the White brothers, well, at least Rob and Brent White, providing a charge from the right side. And a pretty solid core of linebackers for Sacramento as well, led by Basil Proctor, who some may remember as a former member of the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Yeah, a lot of experience on the corner. Bobby Humphrey, 7 years with the Jets. Marshall Roberts on the other corner. Charles Frank and Charles Fryer at the halves. John Wiley at the safety.
The gain was 4. This is 2nd and 6. Burgess looks to the far side and is incomplete. Intending that for Jock Climby. John Wiley was covering on the play for Sacramento.
It was interesting to chat with Ron Smeltzer yesterday in our meeting with him. He said, we want to do a few things early that maybe we're not great at, like maybe run some sweeps or run Tom Burgess all over the field. And his purpose is to try and tire out this really big front seven of the Sacramento Gold Miners. He figures if they do a lot of running early, they're not going to make it into the 4th quarter. That remains to be seen.
On 3rd down, here's Terry Baker. Freeman Basinger on the return for Sacramento, caught by the first man downfield. Leading the charge, Gord Weber. Quarterback David Archer, a superb pinpoint passer, leads the Gold Miners on offense. His outside receivers, the gentleman who just touched the ball, Freeman Basinger and Horace Ham. Inside receivers include Willie Boyer and Carl Parker. And the running backs, you may remember a gentleman by the name of Mike Oliphant. He is paired with Robert Hardy.
We talked about the job that the offensive line will have to do. They are a big group, as mentioned, 6'4", and an average of 292 pounds along that front line.
First play from scrimmage for the Sacramento Gold Miners. Oliphant carried. LeGrand Robinson made the tackle. Help from Stuman. The Ottawa defense, a great year in '92, solid up front with Kropke, Kolka, and Robinson. And they had some great linebacking last year. Stuman and Snipes are 2 of note. There's 1 newcomer, number 47, Ron Getz. Second down. Archer under some pressure finds a hole and slides across the 40-yard line. He'll be short of the first down.
David Archer did a great thing against this Ottawa secondary. They were coming with the blitz. They will play a lot of man-to-man coverage. He had a run with it. He did. This is the secondary. He will face Joe Fuller, Charles Gordon, much underrated Charles Gordon on the left corner, Brett Young and Anthony Drawhorn, who was an All-Canadian last year at the halves. And Michael Allen replaces Sean Foodie, who went to Vancouver, and that is the secondary that will play a lot of man-to-man cover tonight against the Sacramento Gold Miners.
It'll be 3rd down, and that brings in Jim Crouch. He spent a little time with the Buffalo Bills last year. Deep for Ottawa, Wayne Walker, number 84. Crouch got it away. Bouncing down near the 33. Walker has it at the 25. Met by Roberts, number 5. Marshall Roberts.
You know, as I watched Sacramento go through the paces yesterday at the pregame workout, Jim Crouch, the punter, looked a slightly bit slow to me. And make note of Joe Fuller, number 25, the corner. He was coming on the rush that time and got awfully close to blocking that Crouch punt. So second series for Tom Burgess. Had a chance to see what Sacramento will do in the secondary. They are a basic zone coverage football team, much like the Calgary Stampeders. They want you to make 10 plays to score against them, not give you the big one.
Walker flanks to the far side of the field. It's Stephon Jones to the near side on 1st and 10 Ottawa. Burgess had a man open. What a great catch. Jock Climbey, number 81. Climbey down to the 40.
Well, Tom Burgess reads that zone coverage. He's got the middle with John Wiley, looks off the safety, and then comes back to Jock Climbey, running right down the seam. They split the corner in the middle safety, and that is perfect timing between quarterback and receiver, and a nice big gain for the Ottawa Rough Riders.
36 yards, in fact. Ottawa first down at the Sacramento 40. Brown in motion to the near side. Burgess straight back, over the middle, complete again. Jock Climbey once more. And that will be another Ottawa first down. Number 37. Keelan Matthews was beaten there.
Ottawa realizes quickly. Here's Climbey. They get the motion going out here. Watch him go right between the two linebackers. Let it run, but Burgess realizes quickly that Sacramento is going to play a lot of zone defense. And watch the good job. There's Climbey. He finds that soft spot in the zone. Good throw by Burgess. Back-to-back completions to Climbey. They got a nice drive going.
Jones and Brown come to the near side for Tom Burgess. First down, Ottawa. Burgess back against the flow. Almost picked off in the end zone. Wiley. John Wiley, number 7, was covering.
Wiley making the defensive play.
Well, that's one reason why throughout his career, Tom Burgess has thrown more interceptions than touchdowns. You cannot throw deep down the middle in that zone and expect to complete it to your receiver. John Wiley, a lot of range from that middle safety spot, comes over and almost gets the interception. But if you're going to hit those seams, you got to do it a lot quicker than that against the zone coverage.
On 2nd and 10, Burgess over the middle. Stephon Jones close to a first down. He's near the 11. Stopped there by Mumphrey.
Good pattern against Bobby Humphries. Stephon Jones, 75 catches last year. Watch the push-off right here. Humphries tries to close the distance, but with that little push with the right arm, Stephon Jones gets some separation, makes the catch, and another first down in Ottawa with a very impressive drive on their second possession. There you see his numbers from last year. 2nd in the league.
An all-star season for Jones this time. To the end zone, and Jones has the touchdown. Stephon Jones. An impressive drive by the Ottawa Rough Riders, engineered by Tom Burgess. Humphrey beaten by Jones, 2nd consecutive play.
Opening drive, second drive of the season for Tom Burgess. Took advantage of some zone coverage, hit the open spots, and Stephon Jones caps off a terrific drive.
Derry Baker makes it 7-0 for the Ottawa Rough Riders, who look sharp on their second possession.
I see Bobby Humphrey, 39, the corner. He's caught in the zone coverage, and he has to respect the inside person going to the corner. And when you play zone on the goal line, it's a killer. And Stephon Jones with a simple out pattern. Nothing really tough about that one. He's got the easy catch and the opening touchdown of the season for the Ottawa Rough Riders. They're up over Sacramento, 7-0.
And we're making a little football history.
Stephon Jones scores the opening touchdown. It looked rather easy. I'm going to show you why. Here is Kim Tahita right here, the inside halfback. In a zone, he has to get all the way out there and get underneath the coverage and help Bobby Humphries. Watch how he gets caught up in here. Let it roll. He gets caught up, so Bobby Humphries has no help when the inside receiver goes to the corner. Stefan Jones, that's pretty easy touchdown on their second drive of the season. But if you're going to play zone on the goal line, which is not a great defense to begin with, you better get your inside halfback or safety out covering that out pattern. Your corner can't do it.
5 plays to cover 76 yards, and the Ottawa Rough Riders have an early 7-0 lead. Mike Oliphant on the return for Sacramento. 2 minutes and 51 seconds to cover 76 yards, an 11-yard toss to Stefan Jones.
Yeah, I can tell you of those 5 plays, Jack Climby had a couple of nice receptions. Stefan Jones with a couple of catches. They made that one look pretty easy, and you know, you get to the professional level, if the team stays in the zone, you can pick it apart.
Number 32, receiving team, first down.
Robert Hardy caught for holding.
First and 10, Sacramento.
Al McCullum in charge of proceedings.
Al got a promotion this year. He was a linesman the last few years in the CFL. Now he's the head guy out there.
That was his debut on the microphone right there. We'll save that one on the Betamax at home. Archer goes to the far side. He's on target, but the receiver could not hang on. Loose ball was picked up by Greg Stuman.
Well, it was a good hit by number 26, Charles Gordon, the right corner, the left corner rather, and as Ham ran the hook, you've got to keep working back to the quarterback to keep that separation you've created. He didn't, stood still, and Charles Gordon made the hit, knocked the ball loose. This is a situation that David Archer does not want to be in for very long tonight. Second and long against this defense, because they will come after you.
To the far side, looking for Boyer. That's Willie Boyer, number 80.
Well, Anthony Drawhorn was an All-Canadian last year. He had 8 interceptions, and this is a perfect example why. Stays on the hip of Willie Boyer, and at the last second accelerates, gets the hand up and knocks it away. And you know, listen, Sacramento are going to get some chances like this against a pressure defense. You have the opportunity to hit a home run. Willie Boyer was open, but Drawhorn with a great recovery to knock it away.
A third down situation. Second low snap to Crouch, but he got it away. Walker waiting for it near his 45. Penalty markers are down all over the place. Leading the blockers or the tacklers that time, Davis, number 95. And he was a little too close. There's the indication from Al McCullum. Fine crowd on hand at Frank Clair Stadium tonight. And we're happy to announce that blackouts have been lifted by the Ottawa Rough Riders, so this game can be seen in the local area.
Now, it is Frank Clair Stadium, but the fans here call it the Rough House.
The Rough House.
They have a good time here.
Burgess and the Rough Riders have excellent field position just outside the midfield area at the Ottawa 53. Darren Joseph looks for room to the outside. Caught from behind by Basil Proctor.
Leaf, you mentioned a moment ago the problem Sacramento's having with its own defense. Bill Urbanek, their defensive coordinator, has already told his defense they're going to have to play more man-to-man, which means to be more pressure on the corners. But after Tom Burgess took them to school, a change is obviously in order.
I think that's a good idea, Gord. I mean, once you get to this level, you have to mix things up. I mean, it's great to play zone, and it's okay to be a zone-oriented team, but you have to give that quarterback a different look occasionally, and I think that's a wise choice.
From the shotgun on 2nd and 11. Burgess looked for Ellingson. Broken up by Wallace, number 21. That's Jason Wallace.
Nice play by Jason Wallace. Ellingson rounded his hook pattern off just enough that Jason Wallace had time to recover, and with a little bump, loosens that ball away from Ellingson, and Ottawa will have to give it up. And that was man-to-man coverage, as Gord Miller indicated that they might come with, and looked a lot tighter and a lot better.
Terry Baker back at his 37 across the 40 to get this one away. Freeman Basinger inside his 10. Great return guy, but not much that time. Up to about the 19, stopped by Joe Sardo. And the lead on the Sacramento Gold Miners. A historic evening at Frank Clair Stadium in Ottawa. Adapting to the Canadian Football League. Here's what 37 members of Sacramento's Gold Miners have to adjust to.
John, I think if you ask any one of those 37 players to throw in the coaches as well, they would say without a doubt, unanimously, it's the 20-second clock that gives them the most problems. I mean, this is a fast-paced game, and 20 seconds is not a lot of time.
So far, Sacramento trailing Ottawa 7-0. Oliphant takes the handoff from Archer, breaks one tackle, and is out across the 35-yard line. He'll be close to a first down. Stopped by Greg Stuman. He'll have the first down. Mike Oliphant, number 33.
Not a big man, 5'9", 171, but he hides in nicely behind big 6'6", 280-pound Chris Dyko, the right tackle, coming all the way around the left side. He gets a good block on 33, Michael Allen. Mike Oliphant tucks his head in and has a nice gain, but a legal procedure is going to bring this one back. Well, they say he is a rookie, but really he's had some experience for 3 years with the Cleveland Browns. Certainly a rookie to the CFL, no question about that. There's a bunch of them out there that are.
The game will be called back on Mike Oliphant, and it'll be 1st and 15 for the Gold Miners. Archer, a pinpoint passer, looks down the near sidelines and is too far, intending that one for Freeman Basinger.
Angelo Snipes was the sack leader in the CFL a year ago with 20 sacks, and early in the ball game, Mike Oliphant does a terrific job of getting his head down, picking him up, giving Archer just enough time to get that pass away, intended for Basinger, but make no mistake, Angelo Snipes will get to know a lot of these Sacramento players very well before this night is over.
Outstanding defensive player in Canadian football last year, Angelo Snipes. It'll be 2nd and 15, and Archer uses the shotgun this time. Time to throw, man open over the middle briefly. Drawhorn stepped in to get his hands on the football. Intended for Willie Boyer.
Well, Drawhorn makes the play, and it's not a great throw by David Archer, but we talked about the difference in this game. Could they pick up the blitz, the Sacramento offensive line and backs? And so far, they have given David Archer lots of time to throw. I mean, that is a good 3.5 seconds to get rid of the football, and a quarterback can't ask for much more than that.
You were talking about some of the numbers for Angelo Snipes last year, a few more, including 46 tackles, an interception there. And just an outstanding season his sophomore year in Canadian football. 3rd down, Sacramento. Crouch gets the kick away. Walker will not have a play near the 50-yard line of Ottawa. Rough Riders have a 7-0 lead on an impressive drive and a touchdown touch from Tom Burgess to Stephon Jones.
I think what David Archer and some of his teammates are probably saying on the sidelines is, you know, we need to complete a few balls to get some kind of momentum. So, hey, guys, next series, let's throw maybe a little quicker. Let's get into those routes a little quicker because we know the pressure's coming, but we got to complete maybe a few short passes to get some of that momentum we need.
For Ottawa on 1st down, Stephon Jones to the near side. Brown in motion goes to the far side of the field, and Burgess gets away from one and fires in a hurry for Jones. Covered by Bobby Humphrey, number 39.
Bobby Humphrey, every time he's been involved in a man-to-man situation, he has come up and challenged Stephon Jones, and he is right there this time. Maybe a touch early. Doesn't get the Rough Riders don't get the call, but Bobby Humphreys definitely, when he is man-to-man, he shows it. He comes up and he's a lot more aggressive.
2nd and 10, Rough Riders from the Ottawa 52. Burgess stands in. Darren Joseph makes the catch. He's out across the 50 and stopped by Matthews. We'll see where they spot the ball. It looks like Joseph is about a yard short.
There, Joseph right here. When you get the linebackers that are just going to bail out of there, there's a lot of room underneath, and sometimes let it run. You have to ask your running back to make, you know, the short catch and then run with it to get that first down. But against the zone defense where the linebackers are getting a pretty good drop, that's a nice scheme. They come up a little short, but it's something that I think Ottawa can come back and feast on later.
Terry Baker once more. Decent average. They fake it this time. And that'll be the first down. Stuman taking a direct snap. Ron Smeltzer talked a little bit about that yesterday, but he fooled us here.
Well, he said he noticed that sometimes the interior linemen for Sacramento on a punt return just would turn their back and start running. He said, we think if we get good field position, we can snap it to 95 Stuman, our up back, and we can get a first down out of it. And that's a nice play. You know, those little trick plays, when they work, boy, do they give a team a lift, and so it's perfect time to do it.
First down. Joseph. The reverse. Touchdown. Walker took the catch. Jones threw the pass. The handoff initially went to Joseph. They're playing Canadian football here tonight, Lee. Life is a little different in the CFL. Stefan Jones, a quarterback at Central Michigan in an earlier life.
Well, it so often happens, teams love to take advantage of a trick play with a big play to cap it off, and Ottawa successful with the end-around pass.
Walker has the touchdown. The toss from Stefan Jones, and here it is.
That's pretty good style for a wide receiver turned quarterback all of a sudden, and Wayne Walker all alone in behind Bobby Humphries with the easy touchdown. 2 easy touchdowns for Ottawa so far in this first quarter. The extra point by Terry Baker hits it upright, but still goes good. So things going pretty much the way the Ottawa Rough Riders like it so far. Here's Stefan Jones at the top of your screen here as Burgess goes down the line. The end around pitch. Wayne Walker here. Now, the key guy is to watch Bobby Humphries. He says, oh, end around, I better get up for the run, and watch what happens. He gets caught. Let it run. Tough play for a cornerback, and Wayne Walker, he just kind of fakes it, jogs off the line of scrimmage, turns on the Jets, and pretty good pass by wide receiver Stefan Jones. 1 for 1 on the season, 1 touchdown, kind of like his average.
Yeah, he's thrown 1 touchdown and received 1 touchdown and has been in on all of the Ottawa Rough Rider points. In the opening quarter, a couple of touchdowns. Ottawa has surprised Sacramento with a couple of plays in particular here so far tonight. The Rough Riders 1-1 during preseason play, beating Toronto and losing to the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And we await the Ottawa kickoff. Charles Thompson, number 6, is deep for Sacramento, along with number 33, Mike Oliphant. Oliphant takes it near the 25. Stopped at the 34-yard line. An impressive scoring drive for the Ottawa Rough Riders. 4 plays, 58 yards. The possession time, 2:19. Wayne Walker on the receiving end of a Stefan Jones pass from 46 yards. All set up on a 3rd and 1 gamble. So Dave Archer and the Gold Miners facing a 14-0 deficit. 3:02 to play, opening quarter at Frank Clair Stadium in Ottawa. Archer comes to the near side. Horace Hand, number 87, made the catch. he's halfway to a first down.
John, that's what I talked about. I'm sure Archer got together with his guys and said, look, we've missed a couple of good chances to get the big play. Let's get a few completions under our belt, and then we'll kind of lengthen them out slowly. Good call. Hitch pass to Horace Ham. He was the leading receiver in preseason. Nice play by Ottawa to hold it to just a short game.
47 on the defense. First down repeated.
Penalty against the Ottawa Rough Riders. Ron Getz. He's the new linebacker in the Ottawa scheme, so it'll be first down repeated, 5 yards to go, Sacramento.
Yeah, and he must be pretty good because he beat out a guy named Brian Bonner, who was a terrific linebacker. Ron Smeltzer, the head coach, said it was the toughest decision he had to make in preseason. So it'll be interesting to see how Getz performs.
On 1st and 5, hand to the near side, Archer, the handoff. They'll come up short. Mike Oliphant carrying number 33. Bryant Robinson making the tackle for Ottawa. The Rough Riders' next home game against the Hamilton Tiger Cats is Friday, July 16th, 7:30, right here at Frank Clair Stadium. Ticket information is available by calling that number. An exciting season already developing here in the nation's capital. On 2nd down, Archer. A little flare pass there, caught by Oliphant, but he stopped short of the first down. Ron Getz, number 47 for Ottawa, in on the tackle.
And Ron Getz did a super job to get away from the blocker. The big tackle, Chris Dyko, the right tackle, he just slid underneath, and when it looked like there was lots of room downfield, Getz was there to make the play, and I guess we found out in a hurry why he beat out Brian Bonner for that outside linebacking spot. He looks like a good one.
Graduate of the University of Minnesota, same school that Bonner was from, in fact.
Funny, Bill Bradley, who's the defensive back coach for Sacramento, said they wanted him, but they couldn't get him. Ottawa was able to sign him before Sacramento got to him.
Walker takes a high kick by Jim Crouch. Decent return. Penalty markers are down near the 25, and so is Walker. Pryor leading the tacklers.
Well, you know, guys, there was an article in the Ottawa newspaper today. It was actually written by a Toronto writer, which predicted that Sacramento would win 89-1 today. And that went right up on the Ottawa bulletin board in the dressing room. After that last touchdown, some of the Rough Riders came off and said, not bad for a bunch of Canadians, huh? Even though it was an American lateraling to an American who threw to an American, there's still a lot of Canadian pride here.
Wasn't there one Canadian involved in that?
Offensive line, I think.
The center, Herb Damon, he snapped it.
Ottawa Rough Riders penalized and moving back to the 4-yard line.
I think Ron Smeltzer would be happy with 2 out of 4 scores, 50% on his drives. I think the thing to really look at there was the field position Ottawa had. 4 possessions. The worst one was their own 33. A little different now.
Penalty for illegally blocking. Now here's Burgess from his end zone as a man open. Andre Brown couldn't make the catch. It was obvious why not.
That's the same play Jock Climby caught his long pass on in the earlier in the first quarter. That seam pattern, 4 guys running down the seams against a 3-deep zone. Now, Burgess, if he wants to run that, he's got to hit it a lot quicker, because the longer he keeps that ball in the air, the longer the reaction time is for the middle safety, John Wiley, and that time he came over with a nice hit.
It'll be 2nd and 10, Ottawa, on the 5-yard line into the final minute of the opening quarter. Ottawa leading 14-0. Burgess from the shotgun. Look for Climby on an out pattern. Climby missed a couple of sequences a few moments ago with Ellingson into the ball game, but he's back and apparently healthy.
Sean Daniels gets to start at fullback tonight, and his responsibilities most of the time will be pass blocking in those situations. Here, Brent White, the defensive end for Sacramento, comes into Daniels, and Daniels a much smaller man at only 5'11", 235. White at 273, but Sean Daniels handles himself pretty well there. But Sacramento got what they wanted. 2 and out with Ottawa deep in their own territory, and now they should get the ball back in tremendous field position, in good shape for David Archer to try and get something going.
Terrific field position with Baker standing deep in his end zone on this 3rd down punt. The gold miner returners standing near the Ottawa 40. Baker doesn't get this very deep, but it bounces by Basinger all the way back to midfield. Charles Gordon finally stopping Freeman Basinger. And field position would have been a little bit better had he played the ball properly, but still, it's the best field position the gold miners have had tonight.
I think a lot of credit should go to the Ottawa cover team. You know, sometimes you can really tell how your club's going to play by the actions of your special teams, and that time the punt cover team did a super job to limit that return, and, you know, that field position should have been a lot better, but they got down quickly and made a nice tackle on Basinger.
Basinger is the wide receiver to the near side. Horace Ham flanks out of the picture, top of the screen. 1st and 10, Sacramento. Here's Archer looking over the middle for Basinger. Can't make the catch. No penalty markers down, and Charles Wright supplying tight coverage on Freeman Basinger. That's the end of quarter number 1 with the Ottawa Roughriders in front of Sacramento 14-0 from Frank Clair Stadium in Ottawa. CFL Live on TSN. Making a little football history in Ottawa tonight on the CFL Live on TSN. Second quarter about to get underway. Sacramento with Archer at quarterback from the shotgun. Oh, and it's picked off by Drawhorn. Anthony Drawhorn. The pass was intended for Willie Boyer, number 80. And Drawhorn celebrates his first interception of a new year. Archer having a little difficulty reading the Ottawa defense.
Wow, terrific job by Anthony Drawhorn. You know, he gives the quarterback the illusion that the receiver is often in behind him because he has such great confidence in his closing ability to the football. That time Boyer was in fact behind him, but when the ball was in the air, Drawhorn with his raw speed closed the gap and made the interception.
1st and 10 Ottawa just across the Rough Rider 31-yard line. Second quarter just nicely underway. Ottawa in front by a couple of touchdowns. Burgess from the shotgun this time. To his right and throwing on the run. Jock Climby was the intended receiver, but Burgess one-hopped it to him that time. All Ottawa in the opening quarter here at Frank Clair Stadium. Total yards for Sacramento 12, for Ottawa 138. Time of possession is close, which is rather interesting. But on the scoreboard, it's a 2-touchdown lead.
It's been a lot of 2 and out for the guys in green and white.
Is that green and white or teal and white?
Teal and white.
I think maybe
whatever.
Teal.
You're better on those colors than I am.
You gotta go somewhere else.
2nd and 10, Rough Riders from the Ottawa 31. Daniels makes the catch.
Good to Sean Daniels.
He has about 7 yards. Stopped by Charles Pryor, number 25 for Sacramento.
That's where Sacramento's defensive philosophy really comes into play. I mean, they are a conservative defense. They are one of these bend it don't break styles where you have to put a lot of plays together to beat them. I mean, obviously early Ottawa beat them with a trick one and a pretty good drive, but there on 2nd and long, the zone reacted perfectly. They forced Ottawa to dump it off to a back and then came up, made the tackle, and held them short of that first down. That's where the zone is effective. I think on first down, they might want to mix it up a touch more.
Terry Baker at the 22. 2 deep for Sacramento. Basinger and Oliphant. Baker a much better kick away this time. Basinger has to retreat to the 25, finds a little seam, and looks for a block. He can't find one. Good special teams coverage by the Ottawa Rough Riders. Brett Young leading the tacklers that time.
Well, Basinger was the big return guy in preseason with 8 for 150, but 95 of those return yards came on 1 field goal return for a touchdown against Winnipeg. In summary, well, it's
Stephon Jones
catching and throwing. Got a nice touchdown on their 2nd possession, and on the 4th possession on an end around, he hit Wayne Walker with a lovely pass. Ottawa 14, Sacramento yet to reply.
Let's see what the Gold Miners can do with a first down here, just out across the 30-yard line. Robert Hardy, number 32, got the call that time. And he ran into Greg Stuman. Hardy was with the Edmonton Eskimos briefly.
That's the first trade that Sacramento made in their history, was to acquire Robert Hardy from the Edmonton Eskimos.
Gain is about 3. Hardy is backed up by Mike Pringle, number 27, and he too had a brief time with the Edmonton Eskimos. Now more problems for the gold miners. A procedure call against David Archer here. The penalty declined. It'll be 2nd and 7. Archer shotgun over the middle. Drawhorn again. Batted it down. Anthony Drawhorn took it out of the hands of Carl Parker, number 86. Good night for Drawhorn. 1 interception on the last sequence. A great knockdown there. Parker had some room to motor.
Well, Anthony Drawhorn has had himself a whale of a first half. He was an All-Canadian. We mentioned it. He showed it to you right there. His closing ability to get to that football is phenomenal. 1 interception, 2 other terrific knockdowns so far.
Walker is deep for Ottawa for this 3rd down punt. Beginning near the 30. Wayne Walker gets to the 36. Robert Hardy led the tacklers for the gold miners, who are in arrears 14-0 to the Ottawa Rough Riders in their inaugural match in Canadian football.
There's been a lot of attention focused on this football game in Canada and the United States, with expansion coming to the CFL. How does Ottawa coach Ron Smeltzer react to all the attention?
Well, I'm excited about it, and I think almost everybody else on our team is. I think it gives us a great opportunity to compare what we've got against what they've got, and we'll stack up very well. I'm excited about it, too, from the aspect that the CFL needs some new life. You know, we need to kind of inject something in here and get something going. I think the fans are really going to appreciate the fact that we have some different clubs coming in.
Ron Smeltzer on the sidelines of the Ottawa Rough Riders, 9-9 last season, 3rd in the CFL East, the best record for Ottawa in the last 10 years, and a heartbreaking loss to the Hamilton Tiger Cats in the Eastern semifinal, 29-28. But the Rough Riders are on the move. Solid defense. They hope to improve the offense a little bit this year.
And as was Ron Smeltzer's philosophy last year, he likes to give his backup quarterback some work, and better to do it when the going is good. They're ahead by 14, so Terrence Jones here in the 2nd quarter, the backup to Tom Burgess, gets some work. There's nothing wrong with Burgess. Those are Jones's numbers from a year ago. He just wants to give Jones some playing time.
Jones, the handoff, goes to Darren Joseph. Smeltzer was saying that Terrence Jones was playing with a lot more confidence in the early going this season in his exhibition game workouts.
Well, I think it's pretty good philosophy for a head coach. If he can give all his players some playing time in good situations, boy, it can only help you down the road, because, you know, injuries happen, and then you got guys that are ready to go.
Gain of 3 on 2nd and 7. Jones is picked off, and heading down the sidelines, a penalty marker is down. Tejeda. Kip Tejeda makes it all the way to the end zone, but there's a marker down.
I think the interception is going to stand by Kip Tejeda, but a penalty will bring it back. Terrific job.
We'll wait for the official word from Al McCollman, but
penalty will be withdrawn. There is no flag on the play.
no penalty marker. First down, Sacramento.
So obviously he stepped out of bounds going down the sidelines. That's what Kip Tejeda is arguing about. A terrific play to break on the football, boy. We've seen 3 of them by Anthony Drawhorn for Ottawa. Now Kip Tejeda with his chance to shine. He steps in front of Jock Climby. And let's see if that foot, well, right there, the left foot is definitely out of bounds. Good call by the official. Sacramento, their first break of the night, and trailing 14-zip. You know David Archer would like to take advantage of that turnover and get his team on the scoreboard.
The official drew the flag as he watched the interception returner Tejeda step out of bounds. It'll be first down for Sacramento at the Ottawa 26. An opportunity for David Archer here as he looks to the end zone and is picked off one more time. There's a marker down. Gordon has the interception. He's brought down by Horace Ham. There's a penalty marker back near the 5-yard line.
And it's definitely going to be interference against Ottawa. Don't get it too excited, Kay. You're going to get the ball back because as Horace Ham tried to break to the corner, Charles Gordon was all over him. And I'm sure when they sort things out that a smile will return to Kay Stevenson's face because they will retain the football. Well, the holding must have occurred in the interior line because definitely Charles Gordon had Horace Ham all wrapped up, but well, the penalty should offset, should be first down over again.
Little pressure on David Archer.
Well, Sacramento's keeping everybody in to give maximum protection for Archer. That is good in some cases because he's getting the ball off. That time some pretty good pressure from LeBryant Robinson and Snipes. But the bad thing about maximum protection is you're only getting 4 receivers into the pattern. And, you know, Charles right with the interference, but with only 4 receivers out, that's really not taking advantage of the flow of Canadian football.
It'll be first down repeated. Sacramento at the Ottawa 26. More pressure on Archer. He is down this time. Ron Gett, number 47. Third down. Jim Crouch will try his first field goal in Canadian football. Preseason record for Crouch there. He was 2 for 2 with the Buffalo Bills in preseason last year. He is wide on his first attempt in Canadian football, and this is Anthony Drawhorn on the return. Deep field goal for Ottawa out near the 25. CFL Live from Ottawa.
Sacramento's doing that I thought would really hurt them in this ball game. They are going with maximum protection. Right here, you've got 9 guys plus the quarterback. 1, 2, 3 receivers. Okay, let it run a little bit. I'm going to show you. Look, this is Canadian football. Stop it right there. You got 8 guys blocking for the quarterback, but only 3 guys going downfield against 5 defensive backs. Let it run. A little miscommunication here. Archer can't complete the pass, but hey, only 3 receivers out on a pattern. I mean, that is tough. 3 against 5. I like the defense's chances right there, but obviously Sacramento is concerned with protecting the quarterback. That is obviously what Kay Stevenson and his guys have talked about. We need maximum protection. We're not at a level yet where we can send a lot of backs out on hot patterns and try and attack that blitz. We want to be catchers right now and try and protect the quarterback and hope that David Archer can pick out one of these 3 or 4 receivers. But boy, it is a tough way to play.
David Archer on the sidelines talking to Carl Parker a moment ago and hoping to get something going when they get possession of the football once more. But meantime, it's Ottawa first down. Riders at the 26. Jones is at quarterback, and a good hole opens up for Darren Joseph. Everything is working for Ottawa. John Wallace making the tackle for Sacramento. But a big gain for Darren Joseph.
Darren Joseph for head coach Ron Smeltzer has been a real bright spot in training camp. In fact, so good that he's able to replace Reggie Barnes for the moment at the tailback position, and only with his tremendous ability were they able to do that. And of course, then that affords them to play an import, Mike Graybill, at the left tackle.
A 19-yard gain. The pitch to Joseph once more on first down, and not much running room on the right side this time. He ran into Davis. Number 95, that's Michelle Davis.
You know, you hear heartwarming stories a lot in professional sports, and Darren Joseph talked about his buddy Reggie Barnes, who he replaced. He said, there hasn't been a guy on this team that helped me more than Reggie, and for him to be so unselfish to give me pointers and work with me every day, and now I'm playing in his spot, he said, so those are some of the good things that happen in pro sport.
Joseph averaged 6 yards per carry in his rookie year last year in Canadian football. On 2nd and 8, Jones stands in, and he got it away. It'll be a first down for Ottawa. Wayne Walker made the catch, and there was tight coverage that time by the gold miners, and in particular, Charles Fryer.
The Ottawa offense offensive line giving Terrence Jones all kinds of time to throw. 53, Denny Chronopoulos, the left guard, Irv Damon, the center. What a tremendous job they do on 71. Brent White, and the nice thing, too, to see Terrence Jones back in for his second series after throwing that interception. And, boy, that means a lot to a quarterback not to get the hook.
First down, Ottawa at the Sacramento 48. Jones lops one, and this time it's picked off by Tejeda, number 9. That's Kip Tejeda. That's the second time he's had an interception in his first night of Canadian football. Forced out by Darren Joseph, number 20 for Ottawa.
Good news for Sacramento. They come with the blitz. They're hoping to create some sort of turnover by doing so. And Kip Tejeda with his second interception of the night. Ottawa receiver falls down just as Terrence Jones is delivering the football. I think it was Jock Climby over the middle. And as he falls down, that allows Tejeda the chance to react to the football, his second of the night. And back-to-back turnovers for the Sacramento Gold Miners. I almost said 49ers.
You did.
I almost said 40. Yeah, I will not do that again.
First down, Sacramento, out across the 20 at about the 21.5. Archer, far side, has his man, but not much running room as Drawhorn is over there to make the tackle on Willie Boyer.
You know, that was one of the things I wrote in my notes to myself before the game, what Archer has to do. He's got great team speed in his receiving corps. Essentially, he's got 4 wide receivers playing out there, so he has to get the ball in their hands quickly. And although they didn't gain a lot of yardage on that play, really 2nd and 10, no gain, that is a good strategy. Get the ball in the hands of the speed guys as quickly as you can.
Really no gain. It is 2nd and 10. Penalty markers are down, and this time Archer is right on the money. He'll have a first down this time. Horace Ham, number 87, made the catch in front of Charles Gordon, number 26 for Ottawa. Penalty marker is down back near the line of scrimmage. Rough Riders offside is the early indication. We'll get it
Offside.
officially.
On the defensive team, penalty is declined. First down.
A nice execution by David Archer. The pressure was coming. Gosh, Ottawa brought 7 guys, and but when you do that, there's a lot of pressure on Charles Gordon, and Charles right on the corners. Horace Ham with a little quick post pattern. Archer hits him. Sacramento finally putting something together.
Yeah, 26-yard gain there. First down. The Gold Miners draw to Oliphant, and he's across midfield. We'll have another first down, so back-to-back first downs for Sacramento. Ron Getz, number 47, the tackle for Ottawa. 14-0, the Rough Riders leading. 5:42 to go till halftime at Frank Blair Stadium.
That's a good call with a big offensive line. The sprint draw, you get the defensive line going one way, and with a big offensive line, they all get great angles to make their blocks. Ron Shipley, the right guard, with a good block on LeBryant Robinson, the nose guard. That's all you need on the draw, usually one block, and they're off and running.
Oliphant again. He has to reverse and can't find any running room. LeBryant Robinson was not fooled. He stayed with Oliphant all the way.
Ottawa has such a tenacious defense. Their pursuit angles are always so good, and just no room for Oliphant to get out. David Archer tries to help out with a little block. Let's see how he does. Not bad. Tucked the head down a little bit. Picked the small guy, Drawhorn. That was smart.
Quarterbacks don't get to block very often. Shotgun this time for Archer on 2nd down and 14. Sacked for the 2nd time. Angelo Snipes off to a good start in 1993. 20 sacks for Snipes last year to lead the Canadian Football League, and he's had a whale of a first half already.
You know, I would think if you were Sacramento coming into this game and opening up a brand new franchise, a new season, this could be the worst team you'd want to play. Now, Ottawa probably not the strongest team in the CFL, obviously, but as a defense to go up against in your opener, I mean, this is not a lot of fun. They are a heck bent for leather kind of defense that comes after you time and time again, and it can really wear on you. So far, 2 sacks tonight against Archer, and really he just has not been able to get any kind of rhythm back there.
Crouch has had a pretty good evening, averaging 46 yards a punt. Wayne Walker deep for the Ottawa Rough Riders, standing near his 20. 4:10 to go till halftime. Ottawa in front by 2 touchdowns, 14-0, and David Archer has had a little bit of difficulty picking apart a very solid Rough Rider defense.
Well, they've mixed it up well on him. You know, the pressure's coming, but it hasn't come on every down. And Ottawa, to their credit, is trying to unsettle David Archer's rhythm, and they've done a nice job with that.
A time count violation charged against the Gold Miners. So Crouch drops back a few more yards, now at the 25 to get this 3rd down punt away. This one off the side of his foot. Ottawa will have great field position inside the Sacramento 50-yard line. Some pressure from Michael Allen. A 10-yard punt. Ottawa 1st down in great shape when we return.
Back in Ottawa with a couple of Sacramento fans. Carol Walty is the secretary of the Claim Jumpers Booster Club. Don Moore is the president. Carol, how are you enjoying your first CFL game?
Oh, it's great. It's so exciting. We don't have very many points on the board, but we're going to come back second half.
Now, Don, how many claim jumpers are there back home?
Well, we've got about 872 claim jumpers back home watching this ball game now.
Well, we'll be down later in the year. We'll look forward to seeing you.
And we'll be there, and I want to give you this. You're now a claim jumper in our organization.
Proud to be one. Thanks very much. We'll see you in Sacramento.
Hey, we're going to slide into Sacramento at halftime, live to Sacramento to see how they're enjoying the first real night of Canadian football in the capital of California. Ferroni file debuts. We'll look at a highlight or two. Might mention Stephon Jones at halftime.
I would think so. Touchdown catch, touchdown toss.
Kay Stevenson, a former head coach of the Buffalo Bills in '83, '84, and '85. He was there with Chuck Knox prior to that as an assistant coach.
And, you know, I don't think he should be overly disappointed at the way things have gone so far. They're down by 14. Yes, they'd like to have that closer, but his team is going to need some time to iron out some of the wrinkles of this game.
Wayne Walker takes the toss from Tom Burgess. He was stopped by John Wallace, number 21 for the Gold Miners.
Mike Graybill, the import offensive tackle for the Ottawa Rough Riders, does a good job on Brent White to turn him to the inside. The screen is then set up to the outside, but Jason Wallace, what a terrific play he made to stop it short of the 1st down. Mike Graybill, well, an import starts on the offensive line, so an import running back sits out. Reggie Barnes, simple as that. Kay Stevenson doesn't have to worry about those things.
He's got lots of imports on his offensive line on 2nd and 5. Nowhere to go for Darren Joseph. He was met by Curtis Moore, number 94, who lines up as a middle linebacker for the Gold Miners. Looking at Mike Graybill as the left tackle, it's a long time since an American, an import player, has dressed for the Canadian Football League along the offensive line. Do we have to go way back to an Ottawa player, Rudy Phillips, back that far?
Yeah, but I think the last time he played was with Edmonton.
Yeah, but
yeah.
He began here, did he not?
Probably was, yeah. Oh, yeah, sure, he started. Yeah. He was a great one. Rudy Phillips used to come flying around from that offensive guard, one of the best pulling guards that we ever saw in Canadian football.
3:01 to go in the opening half. Terry Baker standing back near his 45. And they fake it again. 3rd and a bunch. Baker comes up short by about a yard.
I think Curtis Moore, number 94, reacted just in time, and with a tremendous hit, he makes Terry Baker's choice look like a poor choice as the Ottawa Rough Riders turn it over. Timeouts in Ottawa, making a little football history in the nation's capital tonight on the CFL Live on TSN.
Well, Sacramento quarterback David Archer has been around football for a while, but not Canadian football. He's had to take a crash course, and we asked him what the toughest part of the Canadian game was.
The toughest thing for me in the Canadian game has been the 20-second clock, the speed between plays. You got to get in and out of the huddle, get the line of scrimmage. Because as a quarterback, if you don't get a chance to see what's going on defensively, you're at a little bit of a disadvantage. So especially the way how athletic they are on defense in this league, the way they can run around and make plays, you need to get to the line so you get in a situation where you can get your team in the best opportunity to make a play downfield. And the 3-down rule is different for me in the fact that you can't waste a down. In the NFL, you can waste a down here, and I think that tends to drag the NFL game a little bit. This game is wide open from the jump. You got to make something happen on 1st down to get yourself in a good situation on 2nd down, or you're kicking the ball to the other team. And the changeover is so quick that if you're not ready to go, you're going to miss out.
Not good numbers for Dave Archer so far. 1st and 10 here, and he's on target this time for Rod Harris, number 81. A superb passing quarterback. Dave Archer, 3,000 yards, 23 touchdowns in 1992, and leading Sacramento to the World League Championship. From the shotgun, in a bit of a hurry-up offense. Tight coverage that time. On Horace Ham, number 87. Charles Gordon, number 26 for the Rough Riders, with him step for step.
And I think one of the reasons why Sacramento went to the hurry-up offense was to try and not allow Ottawa to make their defensive calls from the sidelines, make them stay in maybe a more conservative defense going to the hurry-up. Now they go to the huddle, but, you know, it was funny to hear David Archer say, you know, but only 3 downs, you have to maximize 1st down. Kay Stevenson said our philosophy is going to be every down is second and 10.
Yeah, that's an interesting way to look at it.
Well, they got 2nd and 10.
And more pressure on Archer. He is down for the 3rd time. Stuman is there. I think that's the 2nd time Stuman has been through. 3rd time that Archer has been down. Kropke is taking an assist on that one.
Well, that's what David Archer sees. A lot of black shirts coming right at him, and nobody open downfield. He has to try and find an opening, but there just isn't any as Greg Stuman comes up with a sack, and it has been a frustrating 1st half for David Archer. Only 4 of 12.
No return for Wayne Walker. 2:03 to go till halftime at Frank Clair Stadium in Ottawa.
Sacramento side.
A new CFL season gets underway, and actually got underway last night. Doug Flutie has a pretty good night for the Calgary Stampeders. Involved in 5 touchdowns. He tossed for a couple and then ran for 3. As Calgary had a great night against Matt Dunnigan of the Bombers. Dunnigan threw for 4 touchdowns and lost. Gord.
Trouble on the Sacramento side. We mentioned David Archer's had trouble reading defenses. So is the Sacramento offensive line. John Payne's been trying to point out the players that should be picked up, but still the Sacramento offensive linemen are having difficulty adjusting to all the different looks that Ottawa's throwing at them.
Burgess at the controls for Ottawa. Jones makes the catch far side of the field. He'll be short of the 1st down.
Terrific call by Tom Burgess on 1st down. 99% of the time tonight, Sacramento has played a zone defense, a 3-deep zone, and that means Bobby Humphries on the corner is going to give Stephon Jones a lot of room. You can take advantage of that by running those 8 yards outs, which they just completed. There's John Payne, your former coach. Yeah, you remember him, head coach Saskatchewan. Hamilton was with the Toronto Argonauts, his O-line last year. And he will bring a lot of much-needed experience to this Sacramento Gold Miner team.
Yes, CFL experience. He knows the Canadian game. Tough running inside for Darren Joseph, number 20. Stopped by Brent White, number 71. A minute 54 till halftime with Ottawa leading Sacramento 14-0. From the shotgun, Burgess, 2nd and 10. To the 40. Joseph made the catch. He's well short of a 1st down. Basil Proctor leading the tacklers for Sacramento. Burgess under some pressure, throwing on the run and off balance. Ellingson got a hand on it but couldn't bring it down. 3rd down, and the Rough Riders get set to kick it away.
Well, Sacramento's defense accomplished what they wanted to. There's a minute 30 remaining. They will get the ball back before halftime, and try and break this goose egg. They should get it back in pretty good shape. Of course, with Freeman Basinger, number 1 back there to receive this Terry Baker punt, you always have the opportunity to not only get instant field position, but the chance to break one all the way.
Baker back at his 25. Basinger and Oliphant waiting near the 20. This is Freeman Basinger. Some room. Basinger finds a seam. His best return. The Gold Miners out near the 50-yard line. Greg Stuman leading the tacklers for the Ottawa Rough Riders. 29-yard return for Freeman Basinger. Solid outside receiver as well, with Horace Ham on the other side under normal situation.
Archer had success with his quick post pattern to Rod Harris and to Horace Ham. He didn't hit Ham the one time, he dropped the ball, but the pass pattern was there, and expecting some pressure to come. I think this is probably something that David Archer will take a quick look at. The middle is wide open for him.
A minute 16 till halftime. Archer to the near side for Oliphant coming out of the backfield. He's got speed and he's down the sideline. Inside the 15. Forced out by safety Michael Allen. And a spark of life for the Sacramento Gold Miners on a 52-yard pass and run play from Archer to Oliphant.
There you got Oliphant here. Ron gets the linebacker and gets. That's a great matchup. Let it run. That's what David Archer sees. He's got the matchup right now. Perfect pass to Oliphant on the linebacker. Getz cannot stay with him, and the Sacramento Gold Miners finally hit one of the big plays they've been trying tonight, and they've got it down 1st and goal with a little ray of hope to get on the scoreboard.
And lots of time to get into the end zone with a minute 8 to go till halftime. From the 8th, Archer to his left. Off target coverage by Anthony Drawhorn. Carl Parker was the intended receiver, number 86. Drawhorn has had a great night.
Well, he really has, you know, and I think that's a little intimidating for David Archer, that he threw the ball too far away from Parker and really didn't put it on the money. You know, he knows, he sees number 7 covering. He may not know his name, but he will after this game. Yeah. But, you know, he says, gee, 7's knocked 3 of my balls down tonight. I better put that just a little extra away from Parker and hope he can make a great catch, and he couldn't.
2nd and goal to go. Sacramento at the Ottawa 8. The Gold Miners trailing the Rough Riders 14-0. Time running out, first half. Archer has it open up, fires underhand, and has a touchdown. Oliphant, number 33, has his first touchdown in a real CFL game. Fitting, I suppose, Leaf, because he got the Gold Miners down inside the 10.
Well, that's what happens when the quarterback can break containment and put pressure on the defense. The linebackers and defensive backs have to make a very quick decision. Do I try and come up and tackle that quarterback and leave my man, or do I stay with the receiver? Getz can't win. He has to go for the quarterback. He leaves Oliphant. That's an easy touchdown. But once that quarterback pressures the line of scrimmage, the fun starts, and Ron Getz could not make the right choice there. If he stays back, Archer will run it in and score himself.
7 points now for the Gold Miners. They trail by a touchdown, 14-7 to the Ottawa Rough Riders.
Well, I think Kay Stevenson should be really pleased with that drive. He got the good punt return from Freeman Basinger to set it up, and then David Archer, with his experience, got the matchup that he wanted. Mike Oliphant against the linebacker, Ron Getz. He made the big reception down the sidelines and then capped it off with that 8-yard scoring catch, and the Sacramento Gold Miners remember this one. It'll be a trivia question years from now. Who scored the first Sacramento touchdown? And if you remember Mike Oliphant, you will, I don't know what you'll win, but
you might win a prize. Might be a trivia prize. Little sidearm toss from Dave Archer if you want to add that to the question. Oliphant has the touchdown. 3 plays, 61 yards in a minute 7. And Oliphant set up the touchdown with a 56-yard gain just prior.
Well, that drive only took a little bit of time, and so with 56 seconds left, as the Sacramento team will find out, which can be an eternity in the Canadian Football League, Tom Burgess and his Ottawa Rough Riders have a chance to answer that scoring drive by David Archer.
I was working. I thought really get held up.
Wayne Walker is deep for the kickoff from Jim Crouch. Walker does not have a play near the 25. So 56 seconds to go till halftime. Ottawa leading Sacramento 14-7.
I think at this point in time we should really compliment the Sacramento team from their performance here in the first half. Sure, they trailed by 7, but you know, I honestly thought we'd see some goofy plays happen, like, you know, guys trying to make fair catches and waving the 5-yard rule. But they have really studied this game closely, and I think they've done an outstanding job. A credit to go to the coaching staff as well.
Yeah, there have been a couple of penalties, but a very disciplined football team that we've seen here so far.
Well, they fine-tuned it since they tried to fair catch a kickoff in Winnipeg in the first preseason game.
Crouch will kick over again at the 30-yard line. An infraction against Sacramento on the kickoff. So Walker gets a chance for a return here. Wayne Walker stopped near the 35. Charles Franks, number 17, leading the gold miner tacklers. Here comes Tom Burgess. 51 seconds to work with. Good numbers for Burgess so far.
Well, there have been a couple of interceptions thrown in this first half, but they came on the arm of Terrence Jones. Tom Burgess, I think, has had a pretty good half personally. 1 touchdown pass, of course, to Stephon Jones. 9 of 17, not too bad. He's a career 50% passer, so he's about right on target.
54% in 1992. First and 10, Ottawa at the 34. Burgess stands in near side. Has a target. That's Wayne Walker, number 84. Walker steps out. 47 seconds till the half. He stepped out in front of Charles Pryor.
Wayne Walker knows a few of these Sacramento players. He played for San Antonio briefly in the World League and joined Ottawa last September. Played in a couple of games. Won a starting job over Tremel Taylor this year at training camp. That was one of the hot battles in camp. That won as well as I should say, Brian Bonner and Ron Getz at linebacker.
2nd and 1, Ottawa. Burgess to the far side and underthrew his top receiver, Stephon Jones, number 89. Jones over 1,400 yards receiving in 1992. 10 touchdowns.
Well, first third down gamble for the Ottawa Rough Riders this year as they find themselves in third and very short yardage. 42 seconds remaining in the first half. They will go for it.
It's less than a yard necessary for the first down. No markers anywhere. Burgess kept himself.
The late marker came down, and I really don't think Sacramento gave the necessary 1 yard off the line of football. They were sneaking in and cheating a little bit there, and I think finally the referee saw it, and that's what's going to be called.
On the defense, number 73, first down.
That's Mark Ledbetter. So it will be a first down for the Rough Riders. 39 seconds till halftime. Ottawa in front by a touchdown at 14-7. Burgess. Complete far side to Jones. Did he stay in bounds? I think he did. No, he was out.
Pretty nice try by Stephon Jones to keep those feet in bounds. With the referee right on the spot to make the call. Sacramento in this late stages of the second half have taken out a defensive lineman. They're going with only a 3-man front and 6 defensive backs to try and stall Ottawa. But here's a great look at Stephon Jones. He's hanging, and there I think you see pretty clearly when he made the catch, his feet were touching that white sideline. Good call.
Very, very close call. 2nd and 10, 30 seconds to go till halftime. Burgess from the shotgun for the Ottawa Rough Riders. Unloads in a hurry this time. Jock Climby has it. He'll score. In front of Jason Wallace, Jock Climby has his first touchdown of a new season. touchdown toss from Tom Burgess to Jock Climby.
Tommy Burgess sees a pretty good matchup, man-to-man by that secondary of Sacramento, and it's simple. Jock Climby just gets in behind Jason Wallace. Wallace gambled that he could come underneath and make the play, but the ball thrown perfectly. Jock Climby with the catch, and Ottawa Rough Riders strike quickly to answer the scoring drive of the Sacramento Gold Miners. See, folks, Canadian football, a lot of points can be scored in those last few minutes.
Yeah, less than a minute to go when Burgess took controls for Ottawa. And the Rough Riders have a 14-point lead restored at 21-7. Jock Climby, 6 touchdown receptions last year. He has 1 already in 1993. A hot, muggy night in Ottawa. Lots of noise, though. Good crowd.
Tom Burgess did a nice job, too, of looking off the middle safety, John Wiley, and looked back at the last second for Climby, and as he got in behind Wallace, there was no help from the middle. Nice catch. His 3rd catch of the night.
An earlier catch set up the first Rough Rider touchdown. Still 22 seconds to go till halftime, so that possession for Ottawa, just 34 seconds, 5 plays, 76 yards. And Jock Climby on the receiving end of a Tom Burgess touchdown toss. Michael Oliphant. It is 19 for Sacramento. He's across the 35 to about the 36. Stopped by Carl Coulter. David Archer has 17 seconds till halftime. Archer down again. 4th sack for the Ottawa Rough Riders. That time, LeBryant Robinson, number 98. Got through to grab David Archer.
LeBryant Robinson gets the 4th sack of the night for the Ottawa defense, and they have had a whale of a first half. Sure, they gave up a touchdown, but for the most part, they have really caused David Archer and that offensive line all kinds of problems. There's 98 Robinson right up the middle. Number 51, the right guard, Ron Shipley, just can't handle him, man. Once again, the Ottawa defense makes David Archer up close. So Ottawa, I believe, calls a timeout. 12 seconds remaining to kill that clock, so Sacramento can't just run it out. Now they'll have to run one play, and if it's incomplete, they'll have to go into a punting situation. Smart call by head coach Ron Smeltzer.
That Ottawa front 7 has worked very well against that big line offensively for the Sacramento Gold Miners. 6'3", 292 pounds is the average along the Sacramento offensive line. 2nd and 19, Gold Miners with 12 seconds to go till halftime. Mike Oliphant gets the call, 8 seconds to go. Krupke makes the tackle for Ottawa.
So Ottawa accomplishes what they want by calling the timeout. Certainly this probably will be the last play of the first half, but they force Sacramento to punt the football, and you would think at this stage Ottawa will put 11 men up at the line of scrimmage and come with a lot of pressure on the Sacramento punter, Jim Crouch.
Jim Crouch's average has dropped substantially since he got one away 10 yards. Wayne Walker ready to return for Ottawa. No flags on the field. Hang on, there's one back there, but that should be the final play of the opening half. Andre Brown was apparently running onto the field a little bit too late on the last play there, so we'll watch the discussion. The half cannot end on a penalty, of course. Declined. Fire the gun. Halftime in Ottawa. Here's Gord Miller.
All right, thanks very much, John. Coming up at the half, the first edition of the Ferroni File looks at expansion and its effect on Canadians in the CFL. As well, we'll go live to Sacramento to see what people in that part of California think of their first look of real CFL action. The score, 21-7 Ottawa at the half. We're back with halftime on CFL Live in just a moment.
The CFL is ill. In fact, some believe it's on the critical list. What with Montreal dying of complications, Hamilton's on life support, BC's in remission, the prognosis is not good. The Canadian Football League is looking for a cure. And Commissioner Larry Smith believes it's time to test that new experimental drug called expansion.
I think expansion is one of the key steps that's required to move us forward in time. Obviously, what it does is it brings in new rivalries, new teams, new sources of revenue for the league. We are the only major professional sports league in North America that has not expanded since 1954. And what happened was your NBAs, your NHLs, your baseballs and footballs expanded. We just stayed the same. And as time went on, people passed us by. Clearly, it will be of assistance to us, but there's other steps that are important for our future also.
Despite that optimism, expansion took a heavy blow with the early death of San Antonio. Some believe that this will be the end of the Canadian Football League.
I think this is a minefield, and I don't think they've begun to realize what's going to happen. The Canadian players will become as extinct as the dodo birds. I don't think they're going into small American markets. It's going to do one thing. It's going to be like the World League of American Football, the USFL, you name them. You know where they all are now? Dead, dead, dead.
Expansion may be a tough pill to swallow, but as the old saying goes, good medicine tastes bad at first, but it works.
I didn't like it at first, but I think in order to survive, I think it's necessary. I don't like some of the way they command the rules, and we have to sort of go with it because of their laws. I think Canadian football should be Canadian football.
I had second thoughts about it at first, but now I'm kind of leaning towards it. The only thing that bothers me is maybe the Canadian kid that maybe needs a year or two to break in the league and maybe become a star and play for a long time might not get the chance, whereas now they're going to have to step in and play right away.
I think expansion is the cure, but there are side effects. Canadian content, 3 downs, a wider and longer field, and unlimited motion make the CFL unique. Are Americans willing to accept this? The Canadian ratio must also be protected. Right now, 20 Canadian jobs are protected in an otherwise American-dominated industry. Until something else is in place, is it wrong to protect Canadian jobs in the Canadian Football League? They say let the best play. Well, sometimes the best just takes a little bit longer.
Well, a solid first effort on the Ferroni File, Dan. Your impressions of what you've seen of the All-Americans against the mixture with the quota in this game today?
Well, so far the Americans haven't dominated the game as I thought it would happen. The Canadian teams are holding up their own. The Americans are playing well. It's just actually it's been a very close game, and it just proves the fact that Sacramento's not going to walk away with this league.
Dan, you're a Canadian player who got a lot of good years out of the Canadian Football League. What is the future of Canadian players in this game?
Well, the future, I think, all depends on if Sacramento came along and dominated the Canadian Football League, we would have the rule being questioned, being unfair, being uncompetitive. Then they would end the ratio that the Canadians have right now. But if we can show that with Canadians we're competitive and we can play in this league, hopefully there's a system that protects Canadians having jobs here in the Canadian Football League.
Dan, we look forward to seeing you all year long. Great rookie effort.
Thank you very much, Gord.
Dan Ferroni with the first edition of the Ferroni File, and so far 21-7 is the score in favor of the Ottawa Rough Riders over the Sacramento Gold Miners. We spoke a few moments ago to the president of the Sacramento Booster Club. About 30 people came up for the trip here to Ottawa. And joining us now from Fair Oaks, California, just outside Sacramento at the Sports Bar and Grill is John Welsh. And John, what's the reception been like in Sacramento for the first real CFL game involving the Gold Miners?
As you can tell, pretty good here in Sacramento. They're loving it. We love the CFL.
How about the rules? I mean, does everyone down there have a firm grasp of the rules already?
Well, not already, but everyone's trying to get used to it right now. It seems pretty good. So far, there hasn't been any rouges, so no one's confused.
What part of the game do you like?
The wide open style of the game, I think, is excellent. The people here in Sacramento love it. Scoring's always great.
What about the performance of the football team? I guess it could be a lot worse here so far.
Well, we cut it to 7, and they gave up one right before half, but we still got half the football left. I'm sure they'll be fine. Just take a while to get used to the style of the game, and Sacramento will be right there.
Well, I guess if you're not used to the Canadian Football League games, being down by 28 even doesn't mean you're out of it. How long do you think fans will give this team to get used to the game before they start expecting them to be real competitive?
Sacramento has always proven that it supports its own teams. We've supported the Kings for a long time. The Gold Miners will be loved and supported forever. Don't worry about that. So they'll sell out just about every game, I imagine, win or lose.
All right, John, thanks very much. We'll check back with you after the football game.
Thanks, Gordon.
Save a cold one for me. John Welsh at the Sports Bar and Grill in Sacramento, California. We're back with more of our halftime activities on CFL Live on TSN.
Halftime continues on CFL Live from Ottawa, where the Ottawa Rough Riders lead Sacramento 21-7. Story of the half, story of the first quarter in particular, Stephon Jones.
He had a whale of a first quarter, 3 catches. He throws for a touchdown pass, but this was the opening touchdown of the season for the Ottawa Rough Riders. Stephon Jones just sneaks down in the corner of the end zone. Bobby Humphrey, the cornerback, cannot get there in time. That's how Ottawa opened the scoring, and offensively, 21 points. I think they'd be very pleased with that first half production.
Defense played a part for the Ottawa Rough Riders, 2 touchdown margins at this point with 4 sacks in the opening half.
Defense really pretty much overwhelmed Sacramento's offensive line and running backs. David Archer, for the most part, just did not have time to get comfortable in the pocket and pick out some receivers downfield. Stuman with the sack right there. Snipes had a couple. LeBryant Robinson with 1. And I think if you could draw it up on the blackboard defensively, that's what you...
At the half, CFL Live continues from Ottawa with the Rough Riders leading 21-7. Second half underway in Ottawa on the CFL Live with the kickoff return by Charles Thomas of the Sacramento Gold Miners. Jock Climby leading the tacklers for the Ottawa Rough Riders. Ottawa in front. 14-7 the stats at halftime, favoring Ottawa on the scoreboard as well as in the stats department. 277 net yards, 241 passing lead.
Yeah, I think the one ray of hope, though, for Sacramento, they had no first downs in the first quarter, 6 in the second quarter, so at least they are starting to get something accomplished on offense.
Archer swung it out for Basinger. Drawhorn came up with a football.
Wow, he's saying he caught it before it hit the ground, but the official's right there to say, no, Anthony, incompleted pass. Boy, that was set up, too, to Basinger, if he could hang on to that quick screen to the wide receiver. Keys for David Archer in the second half is I don't think he can take those 7-step drops and expect his offensive line and backs to protect for him. He's got to get rid of the ball quicker, plays like he just did to Basinger, but get rid of that ball quickly and try and nullify that pass rush of the Ottawa Rough Rider defense.
Basinger flanks to the near side, Ham to the far side of the field. Archer goes for Oliphant. And Angelo Snipes was a long way back in the coverage to make the tackle, or at least to get in the way.
That was the play that Mike Oliphant had a big gainer against Ron Getz. This is a different linebacker, Angelo Snipes, and Snipes has the speed to stay with a speedy running back. And watch the great reaction there as Oliphant's trying to drag it back in. Snipes sees it and just knocks the ball away. I mean, he is a great pass rusher, and obviously he has the skills to cover backs out of the backfield.
Another long hopper to Jim Crouch, who got it away to Wayne Walker on the return here for Ottawa. He dropped the ball, and Sacramento have recovered. The Gold Miners have their first turnover of the ball game. We'll be back with a first down in just a moment. Sacramento on the first fumble recovery of the night for the Gold Miners have a turnover and an opportunity here early in the third quarter with a first down at the Ottawa 45. Mike Oliphant. A big hole opens up for Oliphant, and he'll go all the way. Touchdown, Gold Miners early in the third quarter. A big hole opening up, and the Gold Miners get back within a touchdown.
Oh, offensively, the story for the Gold Miners tonight, Mike Oliphant, their 5'9", 171-pound running back with a touchdown reception and now a terrific run. Great block from the center. Mike Kaselik opened the way for Oliphant, and he gets the second touchdown for Sacramento tonight.
Slight miscue on the snap from center, but the convert will stand. It is now 21-14. Ottawa leading Sacramento. Mike Oliphant, 2 touchdowns so far.
Hi, Mama. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Robert. Hi, Liz. Hi, Lily.
Well, Mike, I'm going to show everybody just how that was accomplished. Here's the center right in front of David Archer. That's Mike Kaselik, and Michelle Raby is the defensive nose tackle right over him. Watch the kick out right here. Gets caught up over here by Slippery the guard, and then draw back against the grain by Mike Oliphant. They had a trips receiving core to the wide side of the field. That took away the middle safety, Michael Allen. Look at the hole right here. Hey, I can run it through there, maybe. Let it run. This is pretty, and a great way to get yourself back into the ball game. Didn't have to do it through the air, on the ground. Sacramento now trails by 7. Terrific way to start the third quarter.
Absolutely. Ottawa has held a 2-touchdown advantage most of the game tonight.
I love you,
opening up a 2-touchdown lead in the opening quarter.
I think Mike would tell you that was pretty easy. My offensive line, especially my center, Mike Kaselik, did a terrific job, and Ron Shipley, the right guard, to open a big hole for me to run through.
Walker on the return for the Rough Riders out near the 40. Forced out by number 17, Charles Franks.
Of course, you know, Ottawa did the thing to start the third quarter that you just don't want to do. You've got a team down by 14 points. You don't want to let them in with a miscue. You know, the fumble, and then Sacramento takes advantage right away. Now for Tom Burgess. He's only up by 7. There is a sense of urgency to take control back of this football game if he can.
The Gold Miners with a quick scoring drive after the turnover. One play to cover 45 yards. The touchdown by Mike Oliphant. And it's a 1-touchdown ball game right now. Ottawa 1st and 10. From the 40, Burgess to the near side. Andre Brown makes the catch, number 5. In front of Matthews, number 37. That's Keelan Matthews.
I think Tom Burgess can see that every time he puts 3 receivers to one side or the other, Sacramento just says, hey, this is too much for us to look at. We're going to zone it, and as long as they do that, there are going to be some natural seams. Andre Brown found it, and I think you'll see Burgess come back to this sort of thing. There's trips to the wide side again.
On first down, Burgess on the run, look to the far side. Stephon Jones.
Sacramento's defense very content, and when they are in zone coverage, boy, those corners get out of there and give the wide receivers all kinds of room. There you see number 25 is Charles Fryer. He says, hey, I got the deep third. Nobody is getting behind me, but when the inside safety doesn't get over, number 17 Franks underneath the wideout, I mean, that's a pretty easy pass to complete. Good block on Randy Thornton to allow Burgess to get out on the rollout.
A 14-yard gain, first down Ottawa. Burgess takes to the air one more time. Touchdown! Wayne Walker. A 44-yard touchdown strike as Burgess answers in a hurry, Lee.
Well, we talked about that, John. That's what you want to do. You've got a lead, and you want to reestablish that you have control of this football game. And boy, Tom Burgess was absolutely absolutely perfect on that throw to Wayne Walker, and he realized that Walker has such tremendous speed. He threw that ball so early, and I hope we can see on the replay shortly the acceleration that Walker had the last 10 yards to make that catch.
2 touchdown catches for Wayne Walker on the night. The first was from Stephon Jones in the opening quarter. And Ottawa restores a more comfortable lead. Jones holding for Baker. And again, Ottawa leading by 14.
Second touchdown of the night for Wayne Walker, and what a terrific job he did to use his speed. Here he is lined up at the wide receiver spot. Now, here's Charles Fryer. Now it's just simply a go pattern. No help from John Wiley. He can't come that far, but let it run. I want to show you about 2/3 of the way through this pattern. Watch how quickly Burgess. Now he's let that thing go. Walker, stop it right there. Okay, here they're even. They're dead even. But the acceleration factor from Wayne Walker to finish off this reception is tremendous. Look at that. He just blows away from Fryer. Perfect throw by Burgess, and once again they open up a 14-point gap. Man, oh man, what tremendous acceleration at the end of that completion by Wayne Walker, his second of the night. That one a little more difficult than the first one.
Some water. A steamy night in Ottawa, to say the least.
That was one of the question marks in training camp. Who would be the wide receiver? Would it be Wayne Walker or the incumbent Tremel Taylor? Well, I can see why Walker got the job. He's had a flawless game so far tonight.
Ready for the Ottawa kickoff. Mike Oliphant out across the 35, met there by Gord Weber, number 43 for Ottawa. What a great ball game. 3 plays, 70 yards in a minute 39. Tom Burgess to Wayne Walker, 44 yards.
It does happen quickly in the old CFL, doesn't it?
It certainly does. The gold miners have found that out themselves, scoring quick touchdowns.
These long, grinded out kind of drives are really tiring, aren't they? 3 plays, 70 yards.
I don't think you'd want too many on a night like tonight. It's still 80 degrees on the Fahrenheit scale here. First and 10 for Archer, the Sacramento gold miner. Archer looks over the middle, and his man open. But Willie Boyer couldn't bring it home. In the area, Young, and Drawhorn wasn't far away either.
And that was a terrific matchup once again for David Archer, and they've had a few throughout this game to hit the home run with. Willie Boyer, the third receiver into the wide side of the field. That means in man-to-man, the middle safety, Michael Allen, has to run with him, and he just simply can't stay there. And boy, had Boyer been able to hang on to that, that would have been a tremendous play.
Penalty against the Ottawa Rough Riders will give Sacramento a first down. Roughing the passer is the call. The gold miners have a first down. The Sacramento 53. Yes, folks, there is a 53-yard line in this game if you're catching us in the United States this evening. Horace Ham could not hang on. He wears number 87, and the coverage by Charles Wright very tight for number 39 on Horace Ham. Watch again.
The Ottawa defensive backs are just terrific one-on-one covers. Here you see initially Horace Ham has really good position on Charles Wright, but he's able to close the gap and do the only thing possible, try and strip that football loose, and he does it perfectly.
To the near side, number 81, Rod Harris on 2nd and 10, Sacramento. Dave Archer employing the shotgun again. Looking deep once more, and a penalty flag comes down. Carl Parker, the intended receiver, the coverage by number 33, Michael Allen.
I think it'd be really interesting to see how they call this. Carl Parker and Michael Allen were in a bit of a fight, but Parker was really pushing off at the last second, and I don't know how they're going to call this, but I thought it was Parker. Good read by David Archer. Parker on Allen is a desirable matchup. Yeah, they got Michael Allen on it. Parker right near the end tried to gain that little extra separation by pushing with his right arm, and Michael Allen was in perfect position. The referee saw the push and called it offensively.
Michael Allen, one of the few changes in the Ottawa defense. He's replacing Sean Foodie, a free agent, now playing with the BC Lions. Catch the Lions against the Saskatchewan Roughriders on TSN Friday night. 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern time as we make our first trip to BC Place.
That should be interesting. A lot of changes in Vancouver. Tyrone Jones and James West on the same team again. How about that?
Offsetting penalties there, so it is down over 2nd and 10 for the Gold Miners, still at the 53. And Archer still from the shotgun. Pressure again. He's been sacked 4 times. That's number 5, Angelo Snipes. Third for Snipes by himself. 5 for the Rough Rider defense. Little help there from John Kropke, number 73. You may see it here.
Well, really, that's not the fault of the offensive line. I mean, that is 1, 2, 3. You got to let the ball go. I mean, that's a coverage sack right there. Angelo Snipes gets credit for it, but really the offensive line and backs did it. They held their linemen long enough for Archer to get the ball off. Coverage dictated that sack.
Out of bounds, Jim Crouch. Good field position for Ottawa when we return from Frank Clair Stadium. CFL Live on TSN.
Way to go, Brian Bonner.
Back at Frank Clair Stadium in Ottawa with the commissioner of the Canadian Football League, Larry Smith, who's holding a historic first ball.
Well, isn't this something else, Gord? The first game between Sacramento and Ottawa, what a fine game it is.
What's your impression of the way Sacramento has played so far?
Well, they're typical, big, strong football players, but they've been out-finessed, and of course, they're having trouble picking up the Ottawa line stunts, which is really putting a lot of pressure on David Archer.
There's obviously a lot at stake with this Sacramento franchise, not just for them, but for the future of expansion. How long do you watch this Sacramento team and determine how well it's working?
Well, I'll tell you what, from a business operations point of view, they're doing a great job, and from an on-the-field product, they're going to be good. Everyone knows that, but it's going to take them time to blend together to play as a cohesive unit.
All right, thanks very much. See you next year in Vegas.
Well, thank you, Gord.
Vegas, what do you think?
Well, it's a nice place to go.
Can't be any hotter than it is here tonight.
Might be tough getting you to the game. That's the only problem. Near those tables.
No, not me. Maybe by the pool.
But Tom Burgess with a terrific opportunity up by 14. Field position inside Sacramento territory. They can really take solid control of this game.
Ellingson to the near side. And he keeps it on the ground for Darren Joseph. What a great run by Darren Joseph. Now he lost the ball. Picked up by Sacramento. Matthews, number 37, Keelan Matthews, found a loose football after a pretty good run by Joseph.
After a terrific run by Darren Joseph, it was plugged up along the left side, and as he bounced it out with some pretty good speed, you'll see initially at the point of contact, there's nothing there, so Joseph to the outside, and tough to see if he was just stripped. I think he was stripped of the ball, and Keelan Matthews comes up with the recovery, the 5th turnover on the night for the Ottawa Rough Riders, and boy, Sacramento will just not go away, and Ottawa is giving them the opportunities to keep getting back into this game.
Joseph had 17 yards before losing the ball. Stripped away here by Matthews, and his return was 12. On first down, Sacramento to the far side, Horace Ham. Michael Allen forced him out. Check that, Rod Harris, number 81. An 18-yard gain.
John, you and I at the beginning of the game talked about what the difference might be between these two teams, and obviously it was, could Sacramento protect the quarterback? There's the offensive line, and so far tonight they have had a very difficult task at hand. Angelo Snipes, the leader, with 3 of those 5 quarterback sacks on the evening, and so far that difference that we talked about at the beginning of the game really has been the factor so far.
Lots of talk about how big the Sacramento offensive line is. The average height is 6'3". The average weight is 292. The Ottawa defense, with 5 quarterback sacks, has to be doing a fairly decent job.
They are, but you know, you look at height and size and weight and all of that stuff, and it's great to have, but you need the quickness, which I'm sure Sacramento has, but also the working together. It takes time between your backs and offensive linemen to understand blitz patterns of opposing teams you're going to play against. And, you know, I said it earlier in the first half, probably for Sacramento, offensively, this is probably the worst team in the league they could have picked to play in their opener.
Well, there you go. But obviously, a little more speed along the defensive line. And when you look at the linebackers and you're talking about Snipes, and throw those guys into the mix as well, and Greg Stuman and the new kid Getz.
Very rarely would any of these offensive linemen and the running backs, Hardy and Mike Oliphant, have seen a team that has so many different blitz packages coming at them relentlessly, play after play. Usually teams maybe blitz every once in a while to try and surprise you. There's no surprise here. They say, hey, we're coming at you, and it's your job to try and pick us up. So far tonight, Sacramento's had difficulty with it.
Fred Young was injured. He's out. Ken Walcott is in. The Ottawa secondary on first down for Sacramento. Archer draws a flag. Boyer was the intended receiver. Coverage from Walcott. So they went after Walcott in a hurry. Let's see what the infraction was. It didn't look like the receiver turned around, but that is the infraction against Ottawa. Interference charged against Ken Walcott. And the Gold Miners continue this drive.
Defensive pass interference, number 29 on the defense. First down.
9:07 to go, third quarter. Sacramento with a first down at the Ottawa 18. Archer with time, looks to the end zone. Touchdown. Boyer, an 18-yard touchdown reception from Dave Archer. So the Gold Miners close to within 1 touchdown once more.
Great corner pattern by Willie Boyer against the new guy inserted in the lineup, Ken Walcott. Walcott with the interference penalty, and now Boyer in behind him for the touchdown. Hey, Archer's a happy guy. He's been battling back. His team has been down, but every time they get down by 14, they fight their way back into this game. Give him a lot of credit.
Now back within 7 once more. It's 28-21. Ottawa leading Sacramento. An historic evening at Frank Clair Stadium in Ottawa. A touchdown separating these two teams, kicking off a new era in Canadian football.
Ken Walcott is a rookie from St. Mary's University. He has just come into the ball game there. Don't think David Archer didn't notice that. So here's Willie Boyer. Boom, bend it in, take it to the corner. Archer was looking at him, let it run. David Archer looking at him all the way. So you see Archer never takes his eyes off Boyer. Nice pattern, good concentration to make that catch, and oh, Sacramento just will not die and go away. Every time they're down by 14, they fight their way back into this one. 28-21 Ottawa. That's a nice catch.
18 yards. Archer to Boyer. Fine receivers on this Gold Miner team.
You know, Boyer's a great target, too. It's 6'3", almost 200 pounds, and an easy guy for Archer to see over his big offensive line.
Wayne Walker on the return for Ottawa. Not great field position near the 22. Stopped there by Charles Franks. And another quick drive, 3 plays, 63 yards. In a minute 21, the 18-yard toss to Boyer.
Truly run and gun.
Ottawa has led all the way. Sacramento has battled back all night long and back within a touchdown. The Gold Miners stand 7 points in arrears at 28-21 with a long time to go in this football evening in Ottawa.
And to Ottawa's credit, every time Sacramento seems to claw its way back into this game, Tom Burgess has been able to answer Sacramento's scoring drives with one of his own. Let's see what he can come up with here.
Joseph, hard running for Darren Joseph, and he bowled over Franks, number 17. Burgess has had a pretty good night. Shared part of the evening with Terrence Jones. But here's how the starters compare so far.
Well, his numbers are certainly a lot better than David Archer's, but I think Archer should get a lot of credit. I mean, he is learning. This is on-the-job training tonight against this Ottawa defense, and I think the most important thing for him are the 2 touchdowns he's been able to throw tonight. That's what he would say is most impressive.
Interesting you mentioned that, guys. David Archer just said to Willie Boyer, great catch on the touchdown. I'll tell you what, if I find guys that are hanging on to the football, I'm going to keep throwing to them. And so Willie Boyer may be getting a lot more action if he can hang on to the football. But bad news for the Ottawa Rough Riders. Defensive tackle Glenn Kulka will be out for the rest of this football game, so Archer may have a lot more time to throw the ball.
Well, they count on Kulka in that pressure kind of defense to handle the center time after time. He plays right on the nose, so that definitely could be a factor for their defense.
On first down, penalty marker is down. Burgess escapes from the initial charge and finds Walker. Wayne Walker short of the first down. But there's a marker in the Ottawa backfield.
Holding. Defense, number 58. First down repeated.
Well, I think Al McColeman meant 58, the right guard, Chris Giaskas, because it would have been an automatic first down. Now it's 1st and 20. His first game as a head referee.
First night on the job.
We'll give him a couple of breaks here.
Kulka will be out and missed by the Ottawa Rough Riders defensively. First down and a bunch. 1st and 20 facing Ottawa now, just out across the 20. Burgess can't get this one away. He'll eat it. Rob White, number 42, getting to Tom Burgess that time.
Now, what's interesting to me, John, is I think Ottawa was expecting for Sacramento to tire a little bit in the second half, but I really get the feeling that this front 4 is playing much more aggressively in the second half than they did in the first. Here they take a good pursuit angles up the field on Tom Burgess, force him up the pocket where they get some help, and they come up with a sack, but they look a lot stronger in the second half than they did in the first.
Second down and 20. Actually 24. Burgess looking for Brown, and he drew double coverage. Andre Brown, number 5. Bobby Humphrey was in the neighborhood.
Well, Leaf, you mentioned about Ottawa thinking Sacramento would be tired. Ron Smeltzer told his team at halftime, our dressing room is air-conditioned. Theirs isn't. So if you think you're tired, they should be dying. Of course, Sacramento foiled that theory by coming out and scoring right away. And actually, the gold miners look a little fresher than the Ottawa players do right now.
Lord, in all fairness, Sacramento hasn't been training in the Northwest Territories. You know, it does get to 100 degrees down in Sacramento. Obviously, a little drier heat than here, but the last time I checked, 100 was 100. I mean, these guys aren't going to wilt, I don't think.
Baker's had a good night kicking the ball for Ottawa. Here's another good one. Basinger back to his 30. A lot of running pays off, and Basinger finds himself a bit of a hole. He's out to the 50 on a fine return. Didn't look like he had any yardage there at all, and over to make the stop, Terry Baker. 28-yard return. Carl Calder also in on the tackle.
Yeah, Calder got the first hand on him, and really Basinger with a tremendous effort. He is a game breaker. Had a nice return in the first half to set his team up for their first touchdown. And here just, I mean, that's nothing short of just a lot of heart trying to find some little open lane to get through. And he gives David Archer great field position, and trailing by 7, they have a terrific opportunity to tie this game up.
Gold Miners are inside the Ottawa 50 at the 48, first down. Archer looks to the far side. Another marker comes down. The intended receiver was Rod Harris, number 81. Charles Gordon was covering.
And David Archer audibled at the line of scrimmage. He saw Ottawa with literally 11 men up on the line of scrimmage, and he just took a look out the side and said, I got bump and run with Charles Gordon with my guy. I like that matchup. So he just throws a little alley-oop pass.
Deliberate pass interference. Defense number 26. First down.
That's a good audible by David Archer.
This game is turning around in the Ottawa Rough Riders. They lead by a touchdown, but Ron Smeltzer feels it slipping away right now.
Oh, it's funny, Ottawa, for the most part, has had everything go their way. Now they're faced with a little adversity. Sacramento is definitely back in this one. See how they handle this.
From the 24, 1st and 10 for Archer. The charge is on. He got it away. And a good hit after the reception by Boyer. The hit by Drawhorn. Next home game for the Ottawa Rough Riders against the Tiger Cats. A week from Friday, 7:30 Eastern. Ticket information available at the Rough Riders ticket office in the Ottawa area. And we'll be back to Frank Clair Stadium.
Looking forward to it. Holding the call on Sacramento, so that gain is wiped out, and they find themselves in a 1st and 20.
Comes to the near side, the wide receiver number 87. Big charge will be on Archer here. He can't get it away. Caught initially by Snipes. Then Weber was there, and Getz was not far away.
John, it really shows you how aggressive this Ottawa defense is, because Archer audibled again. He saw it coming. He wanted to throw that quick pass to the wide receiver, but Snipes was there so quickly up the gut that Archer couldn't even take the ball from center and loft the pass up to Rod Harris, his wide receiver. So once again, that relentless pressure from the Ottawa defense pays off.
This is 2nd and 29 facing the Gold Miners now. Archer has time to throw, looks deep. No penalty markers down. The intended receiver was Horace Ham. The coverage supplied by Charles Wright, number 39. There is a marker, though, back near the line of scrimmage.
Offside. Defense number 95. 2nd down repeated.
So that's Greg Stuman getting caught that time. It'll be 2nd down and still a bunch. 2nd and 24.
And Ottawa really can be accused of some careless penalties to let Sacramento have some second chances here tonight. Good protection that time for Archer, and allowing him some time and good sight lines downfield to try and pick out his receiver. But penalties beginning to hurt Ottawa.
Archer using the shotgun on 2nd and long. He's on target, but no catch. Horace Ham was the intended receiver, and Archer almost had a completion, but he would have been short of the 1st down anyway. However, that would have gotten Sacramento into field goal range.
Yeah, would have made Jim Crouch's job a lot easier had Ham been able to hang on to that football. It was a good throw from Archer. Sometimes when you're running those hook patterns over the middle, you have to throw it a little low to keep that defensive back off his receiver. And, you know, it doesn't look sometimes like a great throw, but trust me, it is.
Jim Crouch looking for his first field goal in the Canadian Football League. The ball will be spotted at the 43. Wide again, 0 for 2. Drawhorn looks to take this out of the end zone.
Now, did he make a step out onto the field and go back in? This is going to be an interesting call.
1 point if he conceded it.
Yeah, for you folks that are tuning in for the first time throughout the United States, if Drawhorn makes a move and gets outside and goes back in the goal line, that could be a 2-point safety. But I think they're indicating that he didn't come out and it's only a single point, and the ball will be scrimmaged out at the 35-yard line.
They have given a single point to Sacramento. It is now 28-22, a 6-point spread.
Well, I think he stepped out. There's no question he came out, and that should be a safety.
2 points, you're saying, right?
I think it should be 2 points. What happens it now comes out to where on the missed field goal to where the ball was snapped from. And that, of course, was the 37-yard line.
.327 to go, third quarter, first down for the Ottawa Rough Riders. Far side, Burgess has Wayne Walker. Marshall Roberts was covering. We welcome our viewers on Sports Channel America, wherever you're watching tonight, and hope you're adapting to the CFL, along with the Sacramento Gold Miners, who are looking at a few differences in the Canadian game, like downs, like the number of players, the field a little longer, the end zone's a little deeper, and perhaps most importantly, the 20-second clock compared to what the National Football League has. On second down and a couple, batted away by Keelan Matthews, number 37.
It's interesting in chatting with Kay Stevenson yesterday, and what kind of players was he looking at to fill his roster, and it's just a guy like Keelan Matthews, a 6'2", 220-pound linebacker, probably a little too small for the NFL, but perfectly suited for this game. He's got the speed and the quickness to cover the width of this bigger field, and that time he stepped in front of Darren Joseph and almost made the interception. But that speed and quickness is something that Sacramento was looking for on defense, not necessarily big size.
2:54 to go, third quarter. Ottawa leading Sacramento by 6. Third down, Terry Baker gets behind this one. Freeman Basinger allows it to roll. Now a penalty marker comes down, but I believe that might have been Baker sliding in the 5-yard restraining area there, Lee. Was it?
I believe so. Terry Baker, the punter, in there, and he's certainly allowed to try and recover his own kick.
Basinger, a great game against the BC Lions last week in the preseason. 4 receptions for 77 yards. He had a 95-yard return on a missed field goal against Winnipeg.
We have no yards. Number 63 on the kicking team. Major foul, unnecessary roughness on the receiving team. It's first down.
The Ottawa infraction is against Michelle Raby.
Now, number 63 will come into the middle of your screen, and he is within that 5-yard buffer zone that you have to allow the punt returner to field the football. The punter, Terry Baker, also comes in, but for you people south of the border looking in for the first time, the punter is allowed to recover his own kick. But Michelle Raby was inside that 5-yard restraining zone.
Michael Oliphant, number 33, gets the call for Sacramento. John Kropke, number 73, made the stop for Ottawa with help from number 98, Bryant Robinson.
You know, it's funny, I always thought of Sacramento as a team that would really try and establish the run, but as I looked through their preseason statistics, it didn't seem important to them. Yeah, they ran the ball maybe 18 to 20 times a game, but that's not a great deal. Obviously, Kay Stevenson and his coaching staff have adapted to what style they are going to have to play quickly to be successful in this league. And for David Archer, it's going to be throw the ball around 30 to 35 times a game.
Well, that's his game. He's a pinpoint passer. Angelo Snipes has had a great game for the Ottawa Rough Riders already from yesterday. I hope I can start the season with 3 quarterback sacks. Signed, Angelo Snipes.
Well, he's done that. He's got 4. At 20 last year, he's well on his way to another terrific season.
What a great start if you're on your way to.
Yes, sir.
20 last year. Second down. And 6 to go. It is Archer for Sacramento from the shotgun. And off target for Freeman Basinger, number 1. Covered by Charles Gordon, number 26, Ottawa.
The schemes that Sacramento has tried to use on offense are very sound schemes. They just haven't been able to complete a lot of balls. You know, Archer that time with 3 receivers to the wide side of the field. He knows 99 times out of 100 he's going to have 1-on-1 on the backside with Basinger. That's a good call to come back with that pattern. They just haven't been able to hit a lot of them.
Lots of talk all week long about the All-American roster that Sacramento has brought to Ottawa. But of the 20 Canadians on the Ottawa Rough Rider roster, 9 were trained at U.S. colleges. So add that to the 17 Americans. And there's an awful lot of U.S. college experience in the Ottawa Rough Riders as well. That's Drawhorn on the return. He worked it into fairly decent field position near the 41. Stopped by Matthews.
You know, there's been a lot of talk between an all-import team and a team that has to play Canadians. And, you know, I think for the most part this season, the only real difference that you're going to see is when there are injuries. And for Sacramento, as we talked about in the opening, they have a talent pool so large in the U.S. to draw from to replace players. If you lose a good starting Canadian, for a Canadian team, that becomes much more difficult. So I think that is the long-term scenario that most of the Canadian teams are going to struggle with, where Sacramento doesn't have a care in the world.
And Ottawa's in that situation right now with one of their top Canadians, Glenn Kulka, out of the lineup this evening. This is Burgess on 1st and 10 for Sean Daniels. Daniels snapped 1 tackle and then is brought down by Matthews, number 37. That's a big play for the fullback. 12 yards and a big first down for Ottawa. Here's how it looked to lead.
Here's Sean Daniels right here. Watch how he just sits in here. They get everybody upfield. Then he gets out Chris Giaskis with the good block on the linebacker. I believe it was Curtis Moore, the middle linebacker, to get some extra yardage. Here comes 58 now. Hey, there's the block on the outside backer, Matthews, and that springs Daniels for a nice gain.
Burgess on 1st down. Jones made the catch. He was bumped up. There's a penalty marker down. Bobby Humphrey covering on Stephon Jones. Somehow he caught the football.
Toughest play for a defensive back in bump and run coverage is when to turn and look for the football. He has no idea where it is. You'll see Humphreys. He's just going to watch Stephon Jones' eyes. When the eyes start to bug out and the hands go up, that's when Humphreys has to turn and make his play. He ran into Jones. It didn't matter. Jones made the great catch anyway. Toughest play for a defensive back when your back is turned to the quarterback and then have to turn and try and locate that ball in a hurry.
Stephon Jones off to a great start in his first game of 1993. Caught the first touchdown and threw a pass for the second touchdown. For the Ottawa Rough Riders to open up a 14-0 lead. It is now a 6-point differential as Burgess drops back for Ottawa. On 1st and 10. Intending that for Walker, and he couldn't bring it down in the end zone. Bobby Humphrey covering that time on Wayne Walker.
Bobby Humphrey's getting his wind sprints in here in the 3rd quarter. They are picking him on him for the long one. Actually make that number 9, Kip Tahita, back in the end zone there. They actually made a smart play, made the zone coverage, let Tahita go and take the deep outside, and let Bobby Humphrey have a little break up in the flat.
It'll be 2nd and 10, Rough Riders at the Sacramento 31. Burgess looks into the middle and bounced around off a couple of defenders. Ellingson was the intended receiver for the Ottawa Rough Riders, and that is the end of the 3rd quarter in Ottawa. CFL Live continues in a moment with Ottawa leading by 6. The CFL Live from Ottawa, opening night on TSN, and we've got a great one going. Terry Baker gets set to try a field goal for the Ottawa Rough Riders. Ottawa leading by 6 at 28-22, and Baker is on target. 1 for 1. Terry Baker, 31-22. Ottawa leading the Sacramento Gold Miners. Entertaining football game, and the 4th quarter is just underway. Ottawa has amassed 417 net yards, 353 through the air. Time of possession remains still quite close at 23-35 to 21-25.
Well, the secondary story to this game has been Ottawa's turnover problem. 5 of them, and really that is the reason why Sacramento has been able to stay in this football game and only trail by 9. 12 first downs. They got 6, none in the first quarter, 6 in the second, and 6 in the third. So David Archer is starting to get more and more comfortable.
And there's a reason he's more comfortable, Leaf. Your old friend John Payne. After every series, Archer has been consulting with John Payne, who's been giving him tutorials on recognizing coverages and some of the things you can do in this league. Kay Stevenson's the head coach, but John Payne's the key man for the Sacramento Gold Miners.
Gord, you know, John Payne and David and Archer sat down together yesterday, and the 3 of us had a great chat. And my parting comment to Archer was, if you're confused and get into trouble, you go and see John Payne, because he has seen every look in the CFL, and he can try and help you and tell you what's going on. And I think maybe he listened to that. There's John Payne, terrific guy. His wife Dorothy is looking in from Sacramento tonight. My best to her too.
Yeah, I'd like to say hi to Dorothy. I haven't seen her for a little while. We didn't bump into her last year. Charles Wright with a pretty good tackle on Charles Thompson on the return to limit Sacramento on the return yardage. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Gold Miners near the 24. And he opens up a big hole for a first down. Sacramento out across the 40. Finally stopped by Michael Allen, number 33. 18 yards for Oliphant.
Another terrific block by the center, Mike Kaselik, and he is having a field day on Michelle Raby. Michelle Raby, of course, in for the injured Kulka, but there's the block. Oliphant let it go right up through the hole. That's the play he scored the touchdown on, but watch the control the center Mike Kaselik is able to have on Michelle Raby, and that initiates the whole play.
1st and 10 Gold Miners from the Sacramento 41. Archer releasing in a hurry. Batted down by Greg Stuman, number 95.
The old tunnel vision for the quarterback. All he could see was the quick post by his receiver, and no idea that Greg Stuman was going to be
spot out there. Number 1, Basinger.
And Stuman was almost surprised that this ball hit him right in the hands. And you'll see Archer, no, he's just eyeballing that receiver, and at no time does he see Stuman sliding across from his outside linebacking spot. And Stuman's like he didn't get hurt.
2nd and 10, Sacramento. The Gold Miner 41. Shotgun, Archer over the middle. This time he has Basinger. Basinger slowed down and stopped short of a first down. Good play by Charles Gordon. Looked like Basinger had enough for the first down, but he was forced back. We'll see where they spot the ball.
Oh, that is just a terrific play. I mean, that is a long way to chase a receiver across the field, and Basinger has that ball quickly with a lot of room to run, but tremendous pursuit by the corner Charles Gordon in his man-to-man coverage, and he holds him short of the first down. Now, gambling situation for Kay Stevenson. The first time he's been faced with this so far.
Well, another first for the Sacramento Gold Miners. Their first 3rd down gamble in Canadian football. Successful. Mike Pringle, number 27. Played briefly with the Edmonton Eskimos.
No, I asked Kay Stevenson yesterday, you know, you have NFL and World League experience where there really aren't that many gambling situations as you're going to find in this league with, you know, the defense being a yard off the football. Are you mentally ready for that? And I'm really not sure what kind of answer he gave me still. And, you know, he's found out in a hurry that some of these 3rd down gambles you're going to have to take a lot more shots at than you did in the other league.
Yeah, like he said something like, we're treating every down as 2nd and 10.
Not that last one.
1st and 10. Sacramento at the 52. Option pass. Charles Thompson could not get it away. Brett Young read it, number 23 for Ottawa. The play was a little slow in developing. -14.
David Archer hands off to Charles Thompson. Boy, if Thompson could have ever done the quarterback throwback or the throwback to the quarterback, Archer was wide open, but good pressure from the Ottawa front.
Brett Young making the play there. and 25. The Gold Miners have faced an awful lot of second and long situations. Stopped short of the first down. Horace Ham made the catch, gained 17 yards, but the Gold Miners needed 25, and Gordon, number 26, was there with a tackle once more.
Interesting call on 2nd and 25. Only 3 receivers once again into that pattern. Archer stands in and takes the hit from Snipes. It's a nice reception, but only 3 receivers out on 2nd and 25 is kind of tough. Horace Ham with the catch, but the Sacramento Gold Miners will have to give it up.
Jim Crouch standing back near his 40 for Sacramento, just got it away. Anthony Drawhorn. Nowhere to go. He's surrounded near the 25. CFL Live, the Rough Riders welcome the Gold Miners to the Canadian Football League. And Ottawa leads 31-22. Ottawa leading by 9. 1st and 10 Rough Riders. Near the 25. It's been a good football game so far. Tom Burgess at the control for Ottawa. Richards, the ball carrier. That's Dwight Richards, number 30. Gordon?
John, K. Stevenson just threw down the gauntlet to his defense, saying this is a big series. We got to stop him here. That may be his NFL experience coming into play. There's still a lot of time in a CFL game, and he may get the ball 3 or 4 more times before it gets down to crunch time.
Facing 2nd and 8 right now, the Ottawa Rough Riders. At the Ottawa 26. Burgess to the far side. Over the head of his intended receiver, Stephon Jones. And the Sacramento defense gets the ball back in a hurry.
Stephon Jones has had a good night on the out patterns against Bobby Humphries, and here he little pirouette to the outside, and had the ball been on target, would have made the catch. Bobby Humphries is getting a nice indoctrination into the CFL kind of style tonight. Pretty good protection for Tom Burgess all evening.
Pretty good night for Terry Baker so far. Low snap this time. He handles it easily. Not a good kick, though. But Basinger has to run over the field this one as it gets by him near the 35. And not much of a run for Freeman that time. Stay with us from Frank Clair Stadium in Ottawa tonight for the post-game show, and right after that, Sports Desk with Brendan Connor and Michael Landsberg. Right after the game. Get you up to date on everything. Right now, it's 31-22, Ottawa leading Sacramento. And the Gold Miners are first down. Archer, far side. Has Oliphant, and Oliphant dragged down from behind by Weber, number 43. A 32-yard gain. Good call by Archer.
Well, they're willing to put 5 receivers out into the pattern now, and once again a matchup that they've enjoyed most of the night is Mike Oliphant against a linebacker. And from the shotgun where Archer can see downfield a little bit better, he picks up Mike Oliphant. Gord Weber, the inside linebacker, number 43, just does not have the speed to stay with Oliphant. Good recognition by Archer and a nice catch by Mike Oliphant.
A big gain for Sacramento. Now set up with a first down at the Ottawa 40-yard line. Archer chooses the shotgun again. Gets a good block. And has his receiver, Charles Thompson, number 6. Where do they spot the ball? Short of the first down. Tackle made by Young. Brett Young, number 23.
Sacramento's changed nicely on this possession. What they've done is really spread the defensive secondary out more by taking those 5 receivers, 1 out of the backfield, and spreading the defense across the field. And when you play a lot of man-to-man coverage, I mean, this is a big field to run with a lot of people. And I think it's been a good change in schemes for the Sacramento offense.
5-yard gain for the goal miners, 2nd and 5. Right along the Ottawa 35. Archer to his left. Looks deep and is off target. Intending that one for Boyer. Boyer was covered by Brett Young, number 23.
Once again, he had a receiver open, and David Archer would love to have that one over again, as he did earlier in the 3rd quarter. Boyer with the touchdown pass reception on the corner pattern. Again, same pattern, different player. He's against Brett Young here, but a nice move to the outside, and no question, had that ball been on target, I think Willie Boyer would have had his 2nd touchdown of the night. Archer's getting his feet wet tonight. I mean, this is a whole different thing. You see him shaking his head. He knows he had one there, but, you know, for the most part, I think his recognition of defenses and coverages and the right place to throw to has been pretty good tonight.
Big opportunity for Jim Crouch here in a 9-point ball game at 31-22. He's missed 2 from the 41-yard line. Wide again. So Crouch is 0 for 3.
41-yarder.
Drawhorn will give up a single point. So Crouch goes 0 for 3, and there's the score as it stands.
Back in Ottawa, where it's not so much the heat, it's the humidity. The Sacramento players are used to temperatures in the 100-degree range, but they're not used to this much moisture in the air, and they are visibly fatiguing on their own sideline.
It's a little fatiguing up here, too. Kay Stevenson, as you see there, head coach of the Buffalo Bills, 83, 84, 85. He was 8-8 in 83, 2-14 in 84, and 88 and out the gate at 0-4 in 1985. Gone from the Buffalo Bills. He stayed away from coaching until he went back to the Sacramento Surge of the World Football League. And in his 2nd year, won a championship, which was last year. Walker flanks to the near side. That's Wayne Walker, number 84, near sidelines. And it's Burgess for Ottawa from the shotgun. Lobbing this one. James Ellingson, the intended receiver, number 85, and the coverage supplied by Charles Franks.
Yeah,
marker down.
Yeah, no question the interference on Franks. He made no attempt to try and play the football and just simply ran into Ellingson. An excellent call by the officials. The pressure coming. It looks as though, even though it's late in the 4th quarter, pretty aggressive style of defense. Keelan Matthews on the blitz, but Ellingson had no chance to come back and react to that football.
Defense a net gain for Ottawa. Sorry, Leaf, of 29 yards.
Defensive back, you know, he can fight for that ball. He has a right to it too, but you can't block off the receiver from making his move into it either.
From the Sacramento 46, 1st down, Ottawa. Burgess stands in, and the ball was tipped by White.
Yeah,
Rob White, 42.
Kip Tahita, the defensive back, was coming on a halfback blitz. So Sacramento obviously feels the sense of urgency here with just under 7 minutes remaining, that they trail by 8, and defensively they have to change up their pattern to try and put a stop to the Ottawa offense in a hurry, and that's a pretty drastic move for them to come with the halfback blitz.
2nd and 10, Rough Riders at the Sacramento 46. Ottawa leading 31-23. Burgess stands in, has a man open far side. That's Wayne Walker, number 84. And he was wide open. Made the catch and stepped out of bounds. This guy's a pretty good player.
Yeah, he's had a terrific opening night tonight. A couple of touchdowns and some key catches. And really, you know, you look at the touchdowns, they're great, but no bigger catch than right now. It's late in the game. You want to keep this drive going. You accomplish a couple of things. You keep the ball away from Sacramento, you kill the clock, and that was a nice reception to keep it going.
It's his 2nd year in the CFL for Wayne Walker, but he really only played 2 games last year for Ottawa. Burgess has a man open. Oh! Walker almost had it. Penalty marker down inside the 20. How many chances did Walker have to bring that one in?
Well, he had a few, and I think he should have made the catch, and we'll see which way they call this one.
It's against Sacramento. Little wobble on that ball. Once, twice, 3 times. He had his hands on it 4 times.
Yeah, I think when he got in behind Bobby Humphries, actually Humphries was the player penalized. He tried to put the grab on Walker, slowed him down just enough that maybe it upset the rhythm and he couldn't come up with that catch.
But on the penalty, it'll be 1st and 10 Ottawa, just inside the 25 of Sacramento. Burgess shotgun. Slight delay as he hands off Darren Joseph, number 20. And Joseph ran into Curtis Moore, number 94. Big middle linebacker for Sacramento.
Well, Sacramento came with the blitz, and Curtis Moore, the middle linebacker, just happened to hit right into the hole against the draw of Darren Joseph. Joseph had no chance, but well, I think if Tommy Burgess sees that defensive alignment again where John Wiley, the middle safety, slides over in man coverage, you're going to see Burgess go for the home run.
Loss of 3. 2nd and 13 Ottawa. Behind Jones. He tried to react, but Burgess was off the mark that time.
Yeah, you see him pointing to himself. He said, hey, sorry, my fault, my fault. Great pattern. A bit of a pick between Ellingson and Stephon Jones out there. Jones wide open, and Burgess knows that he had a 1st down had he been able to complete this one. He's upset with himself. Great sight lines, good protection from his offensive line to pick out a receiver. There you see a little bit of the pick. Ellingson trying to knock 2 guys, and he got Stephon Jones free. It's only legal when you don't get caught.
Terry Baker, 1 for 1. Wide this time. Sails through for a single point. 5:01 to play, 4th quarter in Ottawa. Baker misses that one, but the Ottawa Rough Riders add 1 to their leading total. From Frank Clair Stadium in Ottawa, the CFL Live on TSN into the final 5 minutes now. The inaugural nights, the Sacramento Gold Miners in Canadian football. Kay Stevenson has been within a touchdown much of the nights, but he has fallen behind now.
Well, and even though Ottawa missed the field goal, they did accomplish one thing, and that was to, of course, restore a 9-point margin, as you see right there in the CFL, a touchdown and a 2-point convert is allowed, 8 points. And so once you get it to 9, you force Sacramento to score twice.
Well, we'll ask the new guy on the team what he thinks of the new kids on the block. How do you like Sacramento so far?
So far, they've done a tremendous job. It's a great game. Sacramento's showing a lot of poise. They're hanging in there. It's anybody's game still.
Everyone's talking about how big the 2 lines were, and I'm intrigued on your thoughts on their offensive and defensive line.
Well, they're big boys, and that's a lot of meat to handle out there. The defensive line for Sacramento are pushing straight across. They're getting tired that way, and the offensive line for Ottawa is doing a great job so far.
All right, we'll see you after the game.
Terrific.
1st and 10 Sacramento. Archer shotgun. Fired that well wide of his intended target, Freeman Basinger. Charles Wright's covering. You talked about the cornerbacks of the Ottawa Rough Riders earlier, Leaf, and they've really had a pretty good game. Gordon has had a good night.
Well, and Charles Wright, too. I mean, when you play in the Ottawa secondary, the first thing you have to be able to do is to cover man-to-man. If you can't do that, you won't last very long with this club, and I couldn't agree with you more. Charles Wright and Charles Gordon have really done a terrific job.
Early motion from the Ottawa Rough Riders. That was Stillman stepping aside. I thought he got back, but I guess he didn't give the 1 yard necessary. .432 to go, 4th quarter. Offside against Ottawa.
Well, little mistakes tonight have really put a little extra pressure on that Ottawa defense when it's just not necessary. You know, 2nd and 10, now 2nd and 5, and it makes a world of difference for a quarterback.
Archer looks to the near side, and Kent gets Willie Boyer, number 80. Coverage by Brett Young once more.
I think really the most impressive feature of the Ottawa defensive backs tonight has been their ability to close on the football when it's in the air. There you see Brett Young with the perfect close on it. Good angle to the football, and absolutely no way Willie Boyer can make the catch. If the ball is in at Boyer, Young's going to pick it off. But between Drawhorn and Gordon and all of them tonight, their ability to close to the football has just been truly impressive.
Jim Crouch has been busy. His 13th punt of the night. He's working that average back up a little bit, but he had some earlier problems with a 10-yarder and a 13-yarder. Just got that away. Wayne Walker across the 30. Away from one. Can't beat the second tackler. It was number 37, Matthews.
Well, we talked about the effect the humidity might have on Sacramento just a moment ago. Defensive backs Jason Wallace and Charles Fryer left the football game with cramps. They've been running up and down the field chasing Stephon Jones and company around, and doesn't look like they'll be back.
Well, Gord, I mean, the problems will compound for Sacramento. They have to play Saturday night in Hamilton, and that's just less than 3 days from now.
Substitution. Number 3 on the kicking team is declined. First down.
Number 3 on the kicking team is the kicker.
That's tough when your punter forgets to come out on third down punt. But, you know, in all fairness, we expected a few of these things. I mean, very difficult for all these players to react and learn the Canadian game overnight. It just doesn't happen.
Darren Joseph. Not much room to the outside. Hit by John Wiley. .324 to go, fourth quarter.
I think uppermost in Tom Burgess' mind right now is with just a little over 3 minutes remaining, don't do anything silly. You've got 2nd and 7 right now. The worst thing you want to happen after this play is that Terry Baker comes in and punts it away. You don't want to give Sacramento any kind of turnover here. And of course, you know Ron Smeltzer, the head coach, is thinking along those lines too. High percentage plays.
Burgess has Ellingson.
That's high percentage, isn't it?
Ellingson has a big first down. Rather, Stephon Jones, number 89. 38 yards for Stephon Jones.
Well, just as I was saying, nice high percentage pass play. Stephon Jones on Marshall Roberts, the corner. The key to it is he sees the middle safety, number 7, John Wiley, up near the line of scrimmage. That tells you man-to-man. You got lots of room in the middle of the field, and Tom Burgess led Stephon Jones perfectly into the middle of the field on that post pattern. And yeah, that's a happy group on the sidelines. Good job, the head coach says.
On the other side, it's still a learning process for the 37 players on the Sacramento roster right now. 3 minutes to go. The CFL Live from Frank Blair Stadium in Ottawa for the Rough Riders holding command. Kay Stevenson won his first 2 games in the CFL. They were in the preseason, beating the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the BC Lions. But he pointed out yesterday that he really only faced a CFL quarterback for a quarter and about 4 plays in those preseason games, meaning a regular CFL quarterback, a starter. Darren Joseph carried for Ottawa. There's a penalty marker down.
Well, I think their 2 preseason wins were a little misleading in the fact that they played a lot of guys that were going to be starters and gave them a tremendous amount of playing time because they had no choice. They had to find out who their group was going to be, and probably those 2 wins were a little deceptive.
.234 to go.
The defense. First down repeated.
Well, those are tired mistakes now. You're late in the fourth quarter. It's been a tough night, and offside is simply a tired mental mistake.
Sacramento Gold Miners will head off to play the Hamilton Tiger Cats in 4 days on Saturday night at Iverwin Stadium in Hamilton. 1st and 5. Ottawa now. 2:34 to go. Burgess got it away in a hurry, has Stephon Jones. He couldn't bring it in.
What a great throw by Tommy Burgess. Back to the well once more with Stephon Jones on the post pattern against number 5, Marshall Roberts. Little move to the outside, gets those hips turned on the corner. That's the key now. He's home free, and really, I think he should have been able to hang on to this touchdown.
Catchable, wasn't it?
Sure was. Once again, Tom Burgess able to look off the middle safety, John Wiley, so he can't get over and give any help to his corner. Tommy Burgess has had an impressive opening night tonight. I mean, he has played a flawless game.
He's really battled back a couple of times. Scored touchdowns when he needed them. He doesn't need one here, but he almost got one. Ellingson was the intended receiver there.
And he gave it the short arms because he was watching for that goalpost. Boy, you cannot throw the ball any better as a quarterback, and you have to hope that sooner or later your receivers are going to make these catches. I mean, that is right on the money. Good coverage there by number 9, Kip Tahita. He's had a couple of picks tonight. I think Ellingson was saying, hey, I'm not going in that goalpost. We got this one in hand.
32-23 as it stands right now, favoring the Ottawa Rough Riders. Miscue on the snap. Jones thrown away. Looks to throw. Better get it deep. Who's he got? Oh, they can flag him there.
They're going to call intentional grounding. Oh, Ottawa, they are determined.
Yeah, they're not going to make it easy on themselves. No. I mean, it's a 9-point lead as it stands right now.
They are determined not to let Sacramento go down gracefully tonight. So it's ineligible receiver downfield, intentional grounding, all of the above here. And
Sacramento possession, more importantly, with 2:10 to go.
Well, as Kay Stevenson saw in the first half, I think we had 3 scores inside of 1 minute and 30 seconds. So with 2:10 remaining and Ottawa ahead by 9, Sacramento has plenty of time to pull this one out.
Field position near midfield, a 9-point differential, as you mentioned.
Well, turnovers really, you look at keys in this game. Obviously, the defensive pressure of Ottawa paramount, but right behind that was their inability to keep the ball away from Sacramento via the turnover.
1st and 10 for the gold miner. Near midfield. David Archer shotgun. Looks over the middle. Basinger in front of Gordon.
Gordon has been terrific in the open field. I mean, Basinger's a tough guy to bring down, but Charles Gordon every time has come up with the tackle.
Marking a 4-yard gain. 2nd and 6. 2:04 to go, 4th quarter. That'll be a 1st down. Archer connecting with Rod Harris, number 81.
Well, one thing that is certainly familiar to David Archer is the 2-minute drill, the sense of urgency to get the ball down the field in a hurry here with 1:50 remaining and trailing by 9.
A 14-yard gain. 1st down, gold miners looking for the bomb. And it's picked out. Intercepted by Charles Wright. Intended for Willie Boyer. And a penalty marker is down.
Well, I think the penalty marker is going to be on Charles Wright for a little showboating after the interception, but really a ball that David Archer simply underthrew. The receiver was in pretty good position, but you'll see just not enough on this, and Boyer can't get back to it. Charles Wright in nice position with the interception, and once again, Ottawa. Yeah, there you see the kick there. Don't call for that.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness, number 35.
Interception.
Ottawa.
Yeah, you cannot fault the work of the Ottawa corners tonight. They have been tremendous.
And you had it right. It was after the interception that the infraction occurred. So with 1:42, Ottawa will retain possession back at the 4-yard line. Riders' next home game against the Tiger Cats a week from Friday. Ticket information available at the Rough Rider ticket office. Rounding out week 1 in the Canadian Football League, Saskatchewan and the BC Lions, BC Place on TSN, 10:30 on Friday night. And then 2 games Saturday, Sacramento at Hamilton and Toronto at Edmonton.
10 o'clock start Friday night. We will be in BC for the BC Lions opener with the Saskatchewan Rough Riders, 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 Pacific. Hey, Charles, you guys aren't out of the woods yet. You did a nice job, but with 1:42 to go, you still have a lot of time to kill on this clock. But a smart play by a veteran quarterback, Tom Burgess, changed the cadence as he came to the line of scrimmage just enough to induce the Sacramento front four to jump offside and give him a 1st and 5.
1:42 to go. Great catch. Andre Brown in front of John Wiley. And Kip Tahita.
Kip Tahita had the coverage, but it's been uncanny tonight how Tom Burgess has picked the middle of the field when the middle safety, John Wiley, has vacated that area. It seems like he has had a pre-tip or a pre-read as to when Sacramento was going to bring up the safety, and they have gone to that area every time with great success.
Big first down for Burgess and the Ottawa Rough Riders. Time ticking down on Sacramento now. 1:22 to go as Burgess looks deep down the sidelines for Walker.
Typical way to run out the clock. Throw the bomb.
Throw the bomb. 7 seconds off the clock at that point. 2nd and 10.
Second down.
Scott Smeltzer has to be reasonably happy with the offensive display his team has put up tonight.
I think
despite the turnovers.
Yeah, the only concern he would have are the turnovers and a few silly penalty mistakes that they have made at crucial times. Other than that, I think he should be pretty happy with this performance.
And the defense has been outstanding.
Perfect.
Burgess short toss over the middle for Jock Climby. Stopped by the middle linebacker, Curtis Moore. Gold Miners have called a timeout.
Well, I think that's a pretty good call at this point in time to stop that clock so the punter just can't get a delay of game and then kick it away. Save yourself about 20-odd seconds here.
A steamy night in Ottawa for the debut of Kay Stevenson's Sacramento Gold Miners in Canadian football. Overall, a very entertaining game. Lots of points on the board. Lots of big plays.
Well, I think there's a few things that Kay Stevenson will look at. Number one is kicking game. Some missed field goals certainly would have put him in a position to get a touchdown now to be back in this game. But
yeah, 3 missed field goals.
Yeah, I think he will look at that and reassess maybe where they're headed in that direction.
Freeman Basinger. Leading the tacklers for Ottawa, Patrick Burke. Burgess has had a pretty good night. The interceptions are charged to Terrace Jones, who came in relief of Burgess, and he's spread it around. Look at the receivers. Everybody should be happy.
Well, it's the ideal way to structure your offense. I mean, you keep everybody interested out there. You have everybody's attention when they're involved in it. And, you know, we talked about this earlier. Throughout Tommy Burgess' long career, he has thrown more interceptions than touchdowns, and that has been a problem for him. But tonight, no interceptions. The touchdown passes were there. And I think he should be very, very pleased with his opening performance.
Yeah, last year he was close in touchdowns and interceptions as far as the ratio was concerned. 29 touchdowns, 24 interceptions. He threw for over 4,000 yards for Ottawa last year. That was...
Well, he was the East All-Star quarterback, too.
He was an All-Star, no doubt. Ottawa Roughriders 9-9 last season. They had some problems winning on the road, and I guess that would have to be the biggest problem to overcome as far as the offense is concerned in 1993, is to try and find a way to win a few more ball games on the road. 2-7 on the road, and that's was good enough for third spot.
Well, that's the transition that they're going to have to make. They've gone from a terrible team in 91 to a pretty respectable team in 1992 that gained some identity throughout the league with a tremendously good defense. Now, 1993, they have to take it to the next level. They have to be able to play well on the road. That was a year ago. They fell to Hamilton in a very, very good playoff game.
1 point in the semifinal.
Yeah, but this is the next level this team has to progress to if they want to be a factor in the CFL this year. They have to play tougher on the road and improve that 2-7 mark. Take your good home record of 7 wins last year and maybe put about 4 wins in. There's an 11-7 season, and I think that would be a realistic season for Ron Smeltzer and his team to shoot for.
Carl Coulter being helped off by his Rough Rider teammates. Steamy night in Ottawa. Into the final minute now. David Archer down once more. This time John Kropke gets credit.
Well, John Kropke made a terrific play to not let Archer get to the outside. That's simply being disciplined, staying in your pass rush lane, and not allowing the quarterback to get outside break containment where he can pick out a receiver.
Number 8.
8 sacks on the night. Well, they picked up where they left off last year. Everybody has a role to play on that defense, and John Kropke certainly isn't a player that gets a lot of sacks, but when he stays in his pass rush lane, he opens up some opportunities for his teammates.
37 seconds remaining in the Sacramento debut in Canadian football. Archer has Boyer. Boyer has a first down. It's getting late, though. Ken Walcott forced him out. Now 27 seconds to go. Sacramento down by 9.
Well, you know, as a receiver, you just don't realize how much running you do in this game. With that 20-second clock in and out, especially wide receiver, you're going back and forth to the outside. I mean, there is just a tremendous amount of running for the receivers in the CFL, and I think the Sacramento receiving corps are really finding that out. They look like a tired bunch.
Got it away. Barely. Snipes had the pressure on. One more time.
This has been a relentless attack by that front 7 of Ottawa. They had a mission tonight. It was not a trick. They didn't try and fool anybody. They said, hey, we're coming. And they accomplished what they set out to do.
Stevenson and his coaching staff have a relatively small roster to work with. 37 players. When Kulka was talking about that yesterday, saying, you know, it's a little more difficult to manage the tiny CFL roster.
I don't buy that, John, for the simple reason that a lot of these guys had World League experience, and those rosters were 36. So, I don't know.
You kick that ass, baby!
Angelo getting him fired up here. Tom Burgess has 20 seconds to run off the clock. He has a 9-point lead, and the Ottawa Rough Riders have a lock on their first meeting with Sacramento. Sequence for the Ottawa Rough Riders as Burgess runs the clock down. It's over in Ottawa. The fireworks are on. CFL Live. The Rough Riders welcome the Gold Miners to the Canadian Football League. And the Gold Miners head away on the wrong end of a 32-23 score.